What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Carlotta Chat with Show. Okay, yes, I'm doing it early Sunday morning. I was gonna do it yesterday, but y'all, you know how life go. I got busy, went and did some things, had to do homework. It is what it is, okay. But I am here now to give y'all a show. It's so much we need to talk about. You know what? Somebody sent me a link to the Summer Walker meet and greets. I didn't know this had happened a couple of weeks ago and asking me my opinion on the Summer Walker meet and greets. Oh my God, I did not. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about it today. I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on the whole thing. Okay, today we got so much to talk about, so I'm gonna try to make this. I can't say a fast show because y'all know every time I say I'm gonna do it fast, it never end up fast, right? So I'll try my best. Okay, so how we do it every week. If you listen to this show, I start off with it's a word. Okay, I try to if I have one. This week, what is my it's a word? My it's a word this week is rather. I don't know if it's simple. I don't know if it's complex. It's just something I've been thinking on. Um, it is, and I heard a young lady talk about this, and I wish I had the clip for you guys, and I didn't get the clip ready. But she was talking about how when we sometimes have sicknesses or different things in our bodies or different things going on with ourselves, sometimes we don't realize that it is the expression of ourself trying to come through. Like we've bottled so many things inside, and it's hard to uh, bottle your creative energy, your creative juices, all those things inside and not use them. I know what the Bible says, hope before it makes the heart sick or makes the heart grow sick. So there, yes, so it could be bring health problems to your bones and everything to not examine purpose, destination, uh, life choices. And let me tell you, this human experience is never easy. At times you will be the good guy. At times you will be the villain. At times you will be the in between. But overall, if you keep your spiritual mindset and your growth up, you will always come out into the right space that God has for you. And it's just learning, it's us learning life and learning experiences and learning who we are on this journey. But I can tell you the most important thing you can do for your health, your mindset, everything is to figure out who you are. And for some people, for some people, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna wreck your whole life, you know. It is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't go back to being the same once you find out like who you are, right? You know those great movies where the head character, always finds out at some point who they are, and it changes their life completely. It changes everything around them. Well, that's what I promise you. Okay, do not let the fear of being outside of your comfort zone stop that process. Because you know what, it's going to come one way or another. Even if you deny it, you know what I'm saying, if you deny it, your comfort breaks in many ways. You know what I'm saying? You may not be, it may not be your destination, but your comfort zone eventually breaks. Nothing stays that way all the time, right? So today I'm challenging you guys to break your own deals with comfort. You know what I'm saying? And try to get outside your comfort zone and do you. Do who you're supposed God created you to be. Okay? And I guarantee it's gonna shake up your life in a good way. Some things gonna feel bad at the start, but then what you'll realize is that it's all for your good. Okay? Some things are not. Some of y'all know what's up. Okay. So that's my it's a word today. It's always along the same line, but that's my it's a word. Okay. I hope y'all can use it. And it's really short because I feel like this whole show is going to be it's a word because we got so much stuff to talk about, man. Oh my gosh, so much. Okay. So starting off with, I don't know what I should start because there's so many good topics. Um, let's see. Okay, should we talk about 50 Cent and the Clarissa Shields situation? Papoose. See, this is what happened when Pisces try to be hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, not the girls. The girlies know how to be hard. And the Playboy boys know how to be hard. Like the Playboy boys, there's a certain part, like there's a certain group of them that are Playboys that are Pisces. Most Pisces males, a lot of Pisces males are Playboys, but then there's a small group of Pisces men that like are very sensitive and very caring and sometimes really not playboys and stuff like that. This is Papoose, okay? Even though Papoose has been accused of being a playboy, Papoose is really not a playboy. He's the guy that'll wait 7 years for you. You know what I'm saying? Even if he's out there playing, he's gonna wait. Because he's a Pisces. He's really in touch with the Piscean sacrificial energy, right? So he gets a girly. He jumps from one day. He knows he's still in love with his ex-wife. That's my personal opinion that he's still in love. And there's rumors that he was even allegedly hanging out with Remy for his birthday. The man likes Remy, okay? Even though Remy is over it. Remy's like, you know what? She's a Gemini, okay? Geminis are gonna move fast. Poor Pisces. But Pisces get with Geminis, you got to make sure it's a Gemini that really is gonna be grounded in you because Pisces emotional things are just a lot. But yeah. But Clarissa, the other day, the rumor is that Clarissa allegedly has been cheating on Papoose. Damn. Again, Pap. That's because you're not supposed to move fast, Pisces. You're supposed to deal with the heartbreak. Quit trying to look like Remy. You're not Remy. Oh my God, what do they do? Why do they do it? You're supposed to just rest and ground yourself. Work on. He doesn't. To my personal opinion, he doesn't want to work on himself. Remember when I tell the girlies do the work? Papoose don't want to do the work. He don't. He's a Pisces that seems like he likes relationships. And instead of grounding himself and maybe working on his rap career, really figuring out his life, figuring out if you really love Remy, can you get her back? What do you need to be? Because Remy did not. Remy said he had turned into the wife, allegedly turned into the wife. I don't know. It really means this. She probably couldn't deal with all that emotional Pisces stuff. So, you know, you probably should have grounded yourself. Now, do I believe Clarissa is playing Papoose? Maybe at the start, the text messages look suspicious if you see the text messages and I'm not going to go through that today on here. Y'all can go over to Carcino. He's talking about it. Academics talked about it a little bit. But let's see. Let me see. I'll show y'all the little article. We'll put the article up here. Yeah, I feel like it's calling him to do the work. It's calling him to when you have a major breakup like that. Sometimes, you don't need to be in another relationship. Sometimes you need to focus on you. Focus on the things that strengthen you and strengthen you who you are as a person. And it seems like to me, he's Pisces men sometimes, not all Pisces. Yes, no, I see this as just trait with Pisces. Not all Pisces men, but a lot of y'all love strong women. They love to find women to strength to hide behind. They tend to, even the gangster ones do that. I mean, they will find somebody who can stand up to them, somebody who's strong, stuff like this. This is to me the idea of him going out trying to find Clarissa. She's not really Remy because she's a little softer in my mind than Remy. Remy seems a little bit more gangster, and Papoose, she seems a little bit not his gangster with Papoose. Like she doesn't seem like the masculine in the relationship, even though she has a lot of masculine traits. Which is, I don't know how that's going to feel to a Pisces male. Pisces males usually like, in my opinion, masculinas with a little hint of femininity or some femininity. I know some Pisces males out there telling me I'm wrong. Okay. But I just feel like yeah, this is he went and tried to find it and probably didn't get a Remy. He got someone who looked like Remy, had the aesthetics of Remy, but really wants to be soft. She really tries to be soft with Papoose, if you notice it, you know. But it says 50 Cent shares alleged Clarissa Shields text linking up with another man. And this is from hot news hip hop.com. It says 50 Cent, 50 Cent and 50 Cent's been beefing with everybody from T.I., Puffy to listen, the most dangerous person though I say for him to beef with, even though he's a Cancer and he's petty, but the most dangerous person to beef with is Scorpios. Okay. Scorpios will be quiet. They'll tell everybody stand down. And what Scorpios do, because I'm a Scorpio, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. We wait till the appropriate time. And a lot of times we ain't got to do it. Life just do it. I hate to tell the Cancer that, because Cancers, they got some powers. They got powers too, but Scorpio has the power of revenge. Even with the problem with Drake, with Kendrick Lamar, is that Drake was in the wrong. So Scorpio's own karma can eat them alive. You know what I'm saying? Eat them up. That's the only thing that happened with Drake on that, because he has so much going on. But Scorpios like Puffy, very dangerous too. He's not meaning not he won't hurt. I don't think that. I think he'll just wait till the appropriate time. Like you'll be assigning your best deal ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? You'll be signing your best deal ever, and all of a sudden, all kind of stuff rain down on you. That's Scorpio. Okay, it can be 5 years down the line. It can be 10 years down the line. It can be 15. Matter of fact, the Scorpio can know the appropriate information right now to get you and not getting you with it. They're just like sitting back. Now, me as a Scorpio, I'm a mix. I have Libran traits and I have, mixed with Virgo, and, because we are all more than one sign. But I have a Lord Stellium in Scorpio, but I am a true Scorpio because I'm a black little Scorpio, right? But I do have a little different feel about revenge now. It used to be when I was young, I used to be like, I'm going to get you, right? But now I feel like that, I don't have to do nothing. God will take care of it. It feels that it comes out right how it's supposed to. It balances itself out. When I do it, it just don't balance it. It just be so rough. So I just, I feel like the best thing to do is to leave this alone. But I was just saying this because he's one of the people he beefed with was Puffy, making that documentary about him and everything, because he was angry about the girlfriend and all that stuff. But that's what some people think, allegedly. But 50 Cent refuses to take higher ground in his many beefs, whether it's regarding diss tracks from T.I. and his family or CEO wars with Dame Dash. However, one of his big feuds right now is with Papoose, and he made sure to rope Clarissa Shields into the debacle with a disrespectful force. For those unaware, 50 Cent recently accused Shields of cheating on Pat with another man, and he now has alleged receipts. Now, let me just say this too. Also, Pap is a Pisces. Pap is a Pisces male. They're not gonna seek revenge like a Scorpio would, but they could, that can link up with Scorpio later on. Cancer, you can't fight both water signs like that. They're too powerful to get. Pisces is very intuitive, even though Cancer is the most intuitive out of the water signs. They just don't use it as well. And they're petty. They're loud petty. You can't be loud petty with the two crazy water signs, like loud petty. It's eventually going for no reason. He's been able to he gets away with a lot of this because 50 knows who to pick on. And sometimes 50 doesn't know who to pick on. That's why I say because you don't know about long rangers like Puffy and because he's a Cancer, so he tends to not care. And he's been shot 9 times. He feels like he's already been at the brink of death. Like, I've already seen whatever you can throw at me. I'm just going to be out here being reckless. I told you, he reminds me of this kid I knew when I was young, who I grew up with, who just never had, you could never trust him. I'm not lying. He reminds me so much of this kid. He does. I mean, like can you ever trust him? Like you can, and that he is that you never know when you're going to offend him. You can't say to him the truth, or you can't talk to him and tell him something that he needs to hear because he has already been through so much, right? And there's an arrogance in that instead of a humility in that, in my personal opinion. And so what he does is he lashes out through recklessness. He'll lash out. He'll find out things about your personal life. He'll find out things about this and that and just put it all out there. He don't have really no care. And so like and it's all also like you can't be you have to tiptoe around uh how can I say tiptoe around him. It's almost as if, let me just say this about 50 Cent, just my personal opinion, had looking at him as a cancer vibe and everything. It's almost as if he has a death wish. Like he doesn't really care about life or like whether he dies or not. And that's the ultimate. It's almost like you can't mess with someone like that. It's almost like, those people, those suicide bombers that are come in a room. And this is how this kid was, I knew when I was young. The suicide bombers that are come in a room and you're like their mentality, you like, why is you want to kill yourself for something crazy? But it's like their mentality's already at death. It's hard to fight a person who don't really care about death. That's what kind of what 50 Cent kind of reminds me of. He has that energy of, but what I feel, what I think will happen for what will I think is his biggest Achilles heel is being at the height of something and being able to do something and it be snatched. And then you got to live with it, not death. So, I always tell people be careful about how your energy is balanced. Like you might not be afraid with death, and that makes you super powerful. But what if you have to live with it? You know what I'm saying? Y'all get that later on. So, but I think that's 50 thinks that I don't care. What can you do to me? And he's almost right. Almost. But you can live through something, right? You know what I'm saying? And so that's and they can torture you through it, right? So yeah, but it says the couple's already dating at this time, a few months, although this wasn't public knowledge. You can blame your best friend for this one. I was doing the Uchi Gucci, my friend, LOL, fifth caption, his first post with the alleged screenshots. Damn it, man, how you forgot you spend every holiday with him. Bob City, he captioned the second post. As for the messages themselves, they allegedly show Clarissa Shields and this alleged mystery person figuring another rapper, I think, figuring out a time for him to go to her Thanksgiving. The veracity of messages hasn't been confirmed. But she came on the other night and talked about them. The problem is with Clarissa Clarissa showed like allegedly there were deleted messages, and you guys can see this article. It's from let's see here. The article is from you guys can go look at that article. But she's come on the internet since and answered it. She says that she didn't know the guy, but the other text from him that shows that she deleted text obviously shows that she does know the guy. My personal opinion, if I'm Papoose, is listen, quit trying to not do the work, Pat. Like, seriously. That's my personal opinion to him. If I was Papoose, if I knew Papoose, I'd tell him stop. Give this girl time, let her get into her boxing. You go away for a while. If you really care for her, come back, but get yourself healed. You're not even out of your divorce yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not one of those things that's been messy. It's been neat and you were, you and Remy were cool and it was getting ready to be the sweet divorce and everybody, and it wasn't all this drama going on surrounding, and you and Clarissa kept quiet your relationship, which is important to me. When somebody listen, I say this all the time on the show. Every situation might not be perfect that you go through in life. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might be in the middle of relationships with other relationships. I'm just saying, hey, it's real. Like we people be, acting crazy and saying stuff like this stuff don't happen. This stuff happens, okay? You may be in the middle of coming out of one relationship and going into another or something like that. And if you are, there's going to be a healing process, and your other partner should know that. But at the same time, take it slow and keep it quiet. Like, why were y'all all out here on the television screen everywhere? It's just a lot, Pap. You know better. But no, he don't. He's a Pisces. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to quiet that relationship down. You need to be out of the press. I know you're getting a lot of press from it. I know you're getting more press than you probably ever got. Even with Remy, it seems like more press. But the thing is, because Remy's attached to it, I would just, for your own personal energy, stop, slow down. Like, stop, give her a break and figure out what's going on in your life. To everyone, sometimes the public is not fooled by your demeanor. The public can see right through you. And a lot of people see that it looks like you still love your wife. And hey, you've been together a long time. No matter what's happened between the both of you. And we don't know that story. We do not know. The whole thing is, though, you need to probably take some time away. And if you're going to have a relationship with Clarissa, maybe you need to take it slow and not be as clicked in, and click into yourself and stop clicking around Clarissa, trying to attach on to everybody. Damn, you trying to attach on to Remy back then. Now you attach on to this girl. But the gift is you got plenty of gifts. To me, Papoose could have been one of the greatest rappers ever. If you heard Papooses mixtapes back in the day and stuff, oh my God. I mean, just one of the most powerful dudes ever, like in the far as lyrics is concerned. I like him better than I do Jay. I ain't gonna lie. Because it's something unique and grounded about Pap in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? But Papoose won't ground in his own power. He is being Piscean. He's running around here not grounded. And let me tell you something. When you see a grounded Pisces, it's powerful. And you have extraordinary powers when you ground yourself. And I'm saying this for the males. The women know how to do it, though. The women know how to do it, even though the women can get out of control in relationships and stuff like that. But the men tend to, and the women suffer a lot from anxiety. Men do too. The men do too, but the men might take on addictions and stuff like that. But I would love to see him ground himself in his own. You don't gotta sign the big deals if you think, because I think a dude like Papoose don't want to be in all that the craziness of the industry. And so sometimes he pulls back, but you don't gotta sign the big deals like that. Sign the deal for yourself that makes you most empowered. But I think also has a Pisces, because remember, one thing about Pisces, they can be dreamers and never get out the dream state. Like they can constantly be saying what they're gonna, their dream, and it's hard to work out of that state. Because Pisces is a laid back sign. They're very creative, very powerful, very talented, but sometimes they just don't want to move in terms of the work. Okay. So you have to ground yourself. That's hard, right? And so I'm wishing that for him, because I think this is what this is calling for him to do. Just stop and get yourself together. That's what I would tell him on that. But yeah, because 50 Cent's out here, just who knows what he gonna come up with next. Lord have mercy. But he's somebody I always say I would be scared to work with, because I don't like to be walking on eggshells with people. I'm not that type of person. I don't like that. We be beefing all the time. You be find out all my stuff, and and because I'm not a person that wants to back down. I don't back down rather easily. So and I don't like people that I have to be scared of. Like I can't be that we can't be genuine with each other. That's scary to me about him though. And he reminds me of this kid I used to know like that. I always keep this kid at a distance because even though this kid was he ended up dead, but this kid had a lot of troubles. But I remember growing up and I just did not trust him because anytime anybody step on him the wrong way, I mean he could do all kind of damage. And that's what I always see with 50 Cent. Okay. All right, Jasmine Crockett this week, and prayers to her security guards, family and stuff. But if y'all haven't seen this, it's talking about member of Jasmine Crockett security detail killed during police standoff. Very interesting. It says, let me see what y'all, let me put it here. It says, this is from TMZ.com. It says a member of Jasmine Crockett's congressional security detail was shot to death by police during a standoff in Texas, according to CBS News. The violent encounter unfolded in Dallas Wednesday night when Mike King reportedly ran inside a hospital parking garage and then barricaded himself inside a vehicle while being pursued by SWAT officers. CBS reports the cops then tear gas King, prompting him to jump out of the vehicle and pull a gun before he was fatally shot by police. Law enforcement sources told CBS King was wanted for impersonating law enforcement while running a platform online. Off-duty police services, which find off-duty gigs for North Texas cops. Images obtained by CBS show King guarding Crockett at events and traveling with Congresswoman during her latest campaign run for a U.S. Senate seat in Texas. Crockett lost to James Tellerico in the Democratic primary. Sources also told the network that King cruised around in an imitation undercover police vehicle with license plates he ripped off from cars outside a military recruiting office. Listen, let me just say something, okay? I am a skeptic when it comes to these type of stories. Anytime I hear somebody connected in government, there's a lot of things that stand out about the story to me that just sound like red flags, red flags. Did he find out something he shouldn't have? This is just Carlotta's theory, one-on-one. Was he working? Was he spying on her from another group? This story sounds weird. He picks a U.S. congressman. He's done all this crazy stuff. And some people will say, well, some people love the thrill of that. But most people will not be trying to pick a U.S. congressman to be her bodyguard, which is very visual. You done ripped off military things, all this stuff. In the end, you're running from in a hospital trying to barricade yourself. It sounds like you're running from something else. This story sounds suspicious. This sounds like, in my personal opinion, this is just me. I'm a conspiracy theorist. It's just my conspiracy theory, okay? It sounds like something else was going on. And this is an official story they done put out. Now, I know there's going to be some conspiracy theorist people out there that's probably going to look into this a little bit more, and y'all will find out if it's true. I'm not the person that's going to do that, but it just sounds suspicious to me. When you talking about he ran and barricaded himself, and then you got just small details coming out. Well, the reason the SWAT, we were running after him because he was faking an impersonation. It just sounds like a lot. That ain't nothing like, I mean, like where you want to kill yourself for it. You know what I'm saying? Seemed like he would just go through the red. It just seemed weird. And anytime people are connected, like bodyguards, it's nothing like bodyguards that know all kind of shit about you. You know what I'm saying? Bodyguards know everything. Bodyguards tend to know a lot. Now, some bodyguards come out of here and make up stuff too, but bodyguards see a lot, especially when they dealing with the congressmen and the presidents and stuff like that. I remember it was I told a story a long time ago, a guy trying to talk to me that worked for a particular president or whatever, and he was trying to say something to me. I said, He said something to me, but I said, don't tell me nothing. About this was like 30 years ago, 40. I said, don't tell me nothing about what you just seen. Because baby, no, I don't want to know. I won't know none of it. Because that ain't nothing like that political. Y'all see what's going on with the Epstein files right now. You don't know what the damn truth is with the Epstein files. You don't really know. I don't even know. And I know people get mad at me for saying, I don't even know what Epstein was. I know they say, oh, well, there's girls out there that saying he did this and stuff. He was arrested for this. Listen, I'm telling you, when people are angry, when you are a spot, it's all kind of networks going through you. I don't know what the man was. He looked like he was having a problem with young girls, but was he? I don't know. It's the actual people could be agents themselves. I don't know what's going on, okay? But I do know, I believe this man had powerful connections and they was running some sort of ring, trafficking and all kind of stuff going on. And he was trying to blackmail a lot of politicians and celebrities and stuff like that. That's what it seemed like to me. Who knows what the hell was going on, okay? I just say I don't never trust government. When you talk about government entity, uh, protecting secrets of the world, protecting rulers, all kind of stuff. Like some of your everyday stuff that you see, like you thinking you seeing one thing, you be seeing another one. They be doing magic tricks on you, you know. So I listen, and you know what? We as the public, we're not as observant as we were 40 years ago. So they can tell us anything. Like they've been doing that. They've been testing that shit out since the assassinations in the 60s. They were testing that shit out since probably Abraham Lincoln. Like to see how much they can get away with telling the public this, telling the public that, telling the people this, telling the people that. I mean, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's the kind of crazy world we live in, okay? So I don't know if I'm buying that. I don't know, you know, but ain't my business. Okay, moving on. uh okay. So Swiss Beats baby mama, one of his baby mama, is coming for Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats in the way they parent. Okay. This is from It's On Site. She is saying, listen, she said, you know, what it showed me too is that how it's so hard to be, shout out to the parents who successfully, and I have a friend who successfully learned to co-parent, you know, with another parent. I remember she told me her and the his old person get along better than hold on, you guys. Wait a minute. I may have to take a break. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna take a short break real quick because I got something going I want to get. And I'll be right back. Just a short break, y'all. Okay, guys, we're back. Okay, so like I was talking about the Alicia Keys story. Okay, so yesterday some news dropped about Alicia Keys at Swiss Beats and their co-parenting situation with one of Swiss Beats' baby mamas. Okay. First of all, it tells you that like being a co-parent, like I said, I have a friend who successfully did co-parenting. I remember she one time told me, she said, I get along better with his old person than she gets along with him. I'm often the person between. I thought how powerful. She had navigated a friendship with the woman where he couldn't even hadn't had it that well. She was such a powerful ally to that. And today they have such a great relationship. You know, even with the kids being older, everything. So it's not easy to co-parent to watch co-parenting situations. Like, I mean, you know, that's why I always tell people if a person has children, you really have to, you can't just be, you have to, you can't be just like, you know, and the baby mama don't tell me, see, no, you have to be very understanding of what that situation is. Now, some of these men have ignorant baby mamas. They got baby mamas who are still in love with them, and they got a lot of drama going on there and everything. They don't want no woman around them and everything. I understand that. Now, you have to me personally, with women, you have to think long and hard about those situations. because he can't handle his shit on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to think, can you really have a true relationship with this man and be open to his children and be open to knowing her and everything if she's ignorant about him still? And let me say this to women out there, because there may be some women that's listening to me who you still in love with your baby daddy and he moving on and you talking about, I ain't, she can't see my kid. That is dumb. Let go. You're losing at time and energy and life force. Now you're in a different space with him. You know that he's probably going to move on in his life. He's going to have other relationships. So you want to be aware of the other relationship, other person and everything. And you want to be open to them. Now, if you have concerns, definitely say so. And men, you can't always knock a concern of your baby mama. Like just assuming they like you still. If you know this person been up and up and you know they like they really trying to move on, but they really seeing something like, hey, I don't know if I like that person around my child. I don't know, blah, 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 blah. And they don't mean, they ain't causing no bull crap where they liking you and you know the difference. Then, okay. Be very sensitive to that. And as women, I think you should be sensitive to those type of things too. As women, you have to be sensitive. If a woman doesn't want you around her children, even if she being petty and she being extra. And listen to this, especially if you're a new girlfriend. Let me tell you, new girlfriends, protect your peace. Do not let no man with his children try to introduce you to his children right away. Unless he's the kids. I don't even think if they living with you, you got to do that. I say the same thing for men. If you've established a serious relationship, it's been more than 6 months, and it looks like it's going somewhere serious, then the introduction should happen. And you should be having a conversation with the mama ahead of time. I always tell people, go out to dinner with the mama or go out to dinner with the daddy or something and kind of build a relationship if you can. Now, if they got a tumultuous relationship and you see in a situation where she's liking him still and you can't get it, then you have to ask yourself, is that something you want to be in? Okay. And that's a very legitimate reason to not be in a relationship because it's a lot. Okay. So, having these type of relationships are not always easy. Okay. They're not. I remember I had a relative in my family and they were beefing with their ex-husband or something like that. And he was like bringing the kids around her people early. She's like, I don't like that. I have not even meeting these people and everything. I said, well, then you should state you should tell him that you have power. You also have the power of the courts. So if if you're feeling like something is not as off, say so. Now, in the case of Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats, this woman might be fighting a beast because they have money and they're entertainers. Okay. So people they could keep her in court all day, probably. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are saying she sound bitter. She did not sound bitter. She sound actually very sure, and I'm not saying this is true, but it sounded like what she was saying was grounded. Okay, but she says Joanna Sebastian. This is from it's on site. It says Joanna Sebastian accuses Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys of letting their daughter vape, use edibles, and party with billionaires instead of focusing on school. Nicole's mother, Joanna Sebastian, is publicly accusing Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys of alienating her from their daughter, Nicole. This is from its own site. In several Instagram posts, Sebastian claimed Nicole recently hit her during an argument and said the situation has escalated after years of conflict over parenting. She also accused Swiss Beats of threatening and harassing her in the past and said she had to make some issues public for protection. She claims while Nicole is in her father's care, she has been exposed to vaping, weed, and edibles, claiming the teenager has been hooked on vapes for years and was introduced to them by Alicia's brothers, and accused Swiss and Alicia of allowing partying and celebrity events instead of focusing on school. She said, why there is no blend? Because they do everything the opposite way. I say no vapes, weed, and edibles. They make them available. Oh my God. Alicia uses them herself. Her brother got her hooked on vapes. I say detox from social media. detox from the phone. They give her the fourth secret phone. I say study. They take her to parties and yachts, and she doesn't study. Okay. And she said, I've had years of struggling with them. They are the opposite of what parents should be. She goes there and there is no structure, no regimen, just meeting celebrities and partying on yachts with billionaires. Her dad always brings her late for school, breaching the court order. I'm so tired of people assuming that they are so holy. I don't think people assume that because of the money. We have to save children from Hollywood parents. Most of these kids are on drugs. Everyone applauds them. Everyone should stop worshiping celebrities. People need to have a grounded life. These celebrities are connected to FC and have no boundaries. Okay. Um, yeah, and there was a couple of things I'm not gonna say that. Let me just say this, okay? Hollywood is different. Creative parents can be different. Listen, you have to work with the other parent. If you let your kids smoke weed, I'm not saying this is what Alicia Keys and them do, but if this is true, if you're letting your kid smoke weeds, cuss, and stuff like that, the other parent doesn't want their kid to do that. You know you're in a co-parenting situation, and you know that hey, I may have to introduce her to structure. I may have to have a little bit more structure. I mean, because when you have a child with somebody, and for her too, there are consequences to who you have a child with, man. I mean, again, I remember having a friend years ago had a kid, and this man used to come in her house like he was an army guy, and it was just horrible. Like he used to try to inspect the house and shit. I mean, I said, girl, she was like, I said, you don't let him in your house, you got to have boundaries. But that kid connected her to cray cray. You know what he was when you probably was out there fucking around with him. I mean, listen, that's why I say, ladies. I mean, you sometimes yes, you want to save your child, but you also got to understand what you had. Listen, I always look at my life. My grandparents. I just got blessed. My grandmother and my grandfather fought. For my sanity. They did. They fought. They fought because my parents had a wild lifestyle. My grandparents were like, nope. It will be structure and everything here. You're welcome to come visit. You're welcome to come take her sometime on the weekends, but you will not. You will not, and you will not. And if my grandma saw something was off, child, my grandma won't play. She confronted. And there were times I remember going and spending the weekend. I would spend weekends with my mother sometimes. And there was a co-parenting situation there. I could tell a story. My mother would be angry. I'm not going to tell it. But there was a story one time in my parenting that was not good. And I had to call my grandfather, I remember. And my grandmother was livid for months. But my grandmother also understood that was my mother, and there was no co-parenting because my grandparents were the parents. But they allowed my mother and my father to have a relationship with me, and it was their rules. And my grandmother was very she understood that when I went over to my mother's house, there were different things that I would see or be exposed versus because my mother was young and but my grandmother was like, if that's not, my mother also kept, when she would have me with her, most of the time my mother kept a structured thing because she knew my grandma was in the and my grandma was in the bushes, like you know what the hell was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So, but the mentality still was challenged from time to time, you know what I'm saying? Because she was very young, stuff like that. So uh even with my great grandparents, I remember my great grandparents, my great grandparents even have rules like that. No, but like even if my mother came over there, they were not allowed me. I was not allowed to go with her anywhere without contacting my grandparents, stuff like that. It wasn't that she was just young, you know what I'm saying? So, and I spent weekends and stuff with my mother. My mother did, she has structure and stuff like that, but sometimes she could be a little out there, you know what I'm saying? But for most of the time, she knew, that hey, her grandparents ain't gonna play. And my dad mostly came to visit me there, so I didn't really have, he would be allowed to take me to certain places and stuff like that. But my grandparents were very protective of my how of my environment. Probably even more so, I would say, they were a different parent to me than my mom and my uncle. I always say that. Um, but but a lot of kids don't have that. Uh, and if you're dealing with, sometimes you're dealing with structures of where you're having one parent like this. When in her case, you got a parent that is wealthy and famous, so it's sometimes so hard to fight that. It's so hard to fight the lifestyle and to protect your child from whatever is going on over there. You know what I'm saying? And while you're trying to have a structured life. I remember one time, there was a parent who didn't have as much money. I'm gonna tell this, I ain't gonna say who it is. Y'all would know, y'all look it up, but this is allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly. But the alleged story was she didn't have much money. She got involved with this celebrity. She was going with him, I guess fucking around with him or whatever. Ended up pregnant. This motherfucker took her, drug her through court, made her look bad because she didn't have a lot of money. He knew that. See, that's why I say another thing. And because he had another girlfriend, another wife, he ended up raising the kid. I said, but you know what? That could be a blessing because he didn't want to give child support. That's what it really was. He was a bitch ass, I think, to this day. But I hope she took that opportunity and did something with her life. And people were saying, well, it's hard to get custody from somebody from a mother. No, it's not if you have a lot of money. You could tell this man that the girl didn't have hardly a lot of money. And so that's what you have to think about when you're dealing in power structures with situations like that. When you're dealing with celebrity males or celebrity women and you're having relationships with them and stuff like that. Uh, 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 if the lifestyle is flamboyant and they're not a parent and it's extreme. I mean, let me tell you, women, all the time when you're dating these type of people or when you're fucking around with them, anything, you have to ask yourself, do I want a child by this person? If you know they're a drug addict, an alcoholic, they have no structure in their life, they're crazy, they're womanized, all kind of things, why are y'all having babies with these people? Like, why even play games? You already know. Like, it's just like her case, she's one. So it could have been a situation, an accident, something like that. I don't know. But I'm telling you, people are what they are most of the time, unless they've gone through extreme metamorphosis or exchange. You know what I'm saying? So I hope for the best for both parties. I hope they get it together because, but it's probably, I'm gonna tell this parent now, if she's hitting you, there's a time when you let it go too far. I remember I had a conversation with one of my friends when her child was really young. And, a lot of my friends, they'll talk to me and ask my advice about stuff and everything like that. And I said to her, I said, I said, you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you. I said, this is a pivotal time. I said, 5 years old, kids start developing their personalities. They're already developed, really. You start to see things, okay? Some people say by the age of 5, it's almost hard to come and reel it back, what you've started. This kid at the time was like 10 years old, 11 years old. The little things were starting. And I said to my friend, I said, stop your dating. I said, whoever the person is, they should understand or only see them, outside of your home or whatever situation and stuff. I said, or see them, in a place right now, but where you can, go see them and everything, but put your focus to your child because I said, you're going to lose them. You're in the midst of losing them. And I said, everything right now that child is seeing has a threat. And rightfully so, because sometimes being a single mother's hard. Sometimes they want relationships. People want it, but it's hard on it because they're doing it alone. And sometimes kids can be exposed too fast or something to somebody already, and you already had a number of issues going on, right? And she found my advice too harsh, too hard. But less than I said, you're almost at the losing. I said, if you haven't lost them already, you're almost at the losing point. She didn't see it as serious. That child has given them hell. They grown. They giving them hell. Hell. And I said, you heard talk. I said, I did. She said, you did. I said, there was a window. It's just a small window. I ain't saying give up your dick. You know what I'm saying? But when you have a child, can I just say to you, children, because you're rearing a child for the future, and it's already going to be hard. Kids going to go through their own emotions, their own life cycles and things. But you have to give them the greatest start. The greatest start. It ain't about you, boo. It ain't about your need for dick. It ain't about your need for coochie cat. It ain't about nothing. It's about grounding yourself to be a great parent, to raise up a great child, to give them as much as a head start. Now, you can't make all their decisions, but to give them as a bright of a start as you can. And sometimes that means sacrifice. I had one friend did not play with her two sons. She was like, she said, I date, but they don't know it. She said, and if I'm serious about somebody, then I will bring them in, but it would take a long time. I'd have to know they could be trusted. She's just a great single mom. She was divorced, great single mom, great boys now, doing great in their life, but she protected them. Like, I'm not letting anything and everything up. My most important thing is them. And making sure they know that I'm dedicated to the process of raising them. Yes, mama's human. She likes me. She likes that. But you won't be exposed to that. I don't want people exposed to you because you don't know what you bring nowadays. You know what I'm saying. They didn't know back in those days, back in the old days, what they was bringing in their houses. That's why you got a lot of kids out here that have been molested and all kind of stuff. So this is just about just a lot of things up. I'm not saying this with this young lady, but I'm saying always look at the people you're procreating with. Don't be enthralled so much by lifestyle because you don't know what you don't know what you're getting into. You know what I'm saying? You know somebody crazy. You don't know what's going on. One of my friends said, but she be genetically like this. They got bipolar. They got. She brought one of my friends go through that. Back in her day, before she said, "Girl, she said if I detect any certain mental illnesses, I will not have no relationship." We was young, we used to laugh at her, but she was daggone serious. She'd be like, I ain't gonna let no accidents happen because I do not want to procreate where I'm raising a kid that's got a chance to get them genetics. I was like, you are stupid. She said, I thought, no, I'm not. But it made her very picky. You know what I'm saying? So I would say women and men, you gotta be paying attention to people, okay? Don't just get out here in the bed and you have an unprotected. Jesus, don't do, you know what I'm saying? That, so you won't find yourself in this type of situation. But I would say, like I was saying to this lady, it's probably too late if she's hitting you. They've already exposed her. If this is a true story, they've already done the damage. And what I would say to this parent is you've done all you could. So now as a parent, and this is the hardest thing for parents to do, often parents will end up, you look at the ID channel. Some parents that did not understand the hint when certain things have happened, like certain parents have made, I've seen certain things on the ID channel where another parent had just raised a hell raiser. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And the other parent was trying to save them well into their 20s. And that person ended up killing the parent. The parent that was trying for them. You know what I'm saying? No, parents, you got to save yourself. At this point in life, this is Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats child and they problem. Now, you love your child. Pray for your child. if have the doors open, if your child really wants to get their life straight, but you got to be vigilant about it. Do they really want to get it straight? And have boundaries and things and stuff set up where they can go get their life straight. But do not be so, understand now what you got. You got a kid that's bracing their fist to you. When you got a kid who's hitting on you, all bets are off. You parents, I'm telling you right now, you done let it whatever go too far. And so now you may have to turn them over to the proper authorities that, like, I know you don't want to hear it, but you ain't did a good job. They already raising their hand to you. Okay. You need to go get them appropriate help or whatever. Now, in this case, she's got another group of parents over there that's been allowing her to do all kind of stuff. And that child is in their care right now. Ma'am, if she's addicted to drugs, all these things right now, you have lost control. Ain't no sense to getting on the internet no more. Ain't no sense in doing none of this. Let that be Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys' problem if this is true. That's their problem. That's what they didn't listen to you. They didn't want to follow your rules. They didn't want to set boundaries for their children. If that's true, let them be the recipients of all what they've done. But you as a parent, you be there and open doors in case they want to come out of that. Because sometimes kids realize, like, sometimes they see the bad parent. And they be like, all right, you know what? I'm going back to my mama who's over here. But don't let them live in your house. Just set up a structure for them. All right, hey, you might start saving money in case they need to go to rehab, saving money in case you need to get them a place to live in and help them a little bit or something, get on their feet. But don't you be bringing them in and trying to nurture them and stuff because you don't know, you're dealing with a lot of stuff. But right now, wash your hands, pray for your child because you can't do nothing else. This ain't gonna help. All it's doing is making that child irritated and mad, what you just did. Now it's giving us, the public, something to talk about, and I can use this to help other people. But listen, let that be Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats' problem. Hey, what's her name is over here cussing me out? That's your problem. I told you not to be giving her drugs. You raised her. You didn't want to listen to me. Deal with the consequences. Well, she want to come home to you. I ain't heard her. No. You deal with the consequence of what you've done. She raised her hand to me. That is not allowed. My safety is important. If you have other children, other children's safety is important. Dang all that. Okay. Sorry. No, I'm really saying this. A lot of parents have this problem. You can't, and I understand that's your babies, but a lot of you are not being good parents when you allow, when you allowing, you know, this isn't your child. This is it's energies in your child, and you can't handle them energies. All you can do at this point is pray for them because the other parents have been allowed so long to expose them to all this stuff. And you've been part of it too. Because you didn't fight them in the courts like you should have. I don't know. She may have, I don't know. But at this point, it's gone. When a kid is raising their hand, I'm just telling you, parents, I'm telling you, y'all parents out there who's dealing with this type of situation. When the other group of parents are not doing right and they've raised a monster, let them deal with the monster. You can't keep saying, well, that's my child. No. At this point, it is not longer, if your child is raising their fist to you, being violent with their other siblings, violent on drugs, you have to let go. You can no longer do nothing with no person doing that. They passed that point. And they have to, now they're at a point where they have to come to that in themselves. They have to come, and you got to allow that to happen. They have to come to him. You can no longer parent that. Well, they just 15. 15 is old enough. Personalities and ways start setting at 5. Usually, according to like some psychologist stuff. Okay. I'm telling y'all. And that's just knowing that. I ain't even no parent, but I just know that from dealing with children. Like people in my family, friends, people in my life. I'm a spiritual parent at heart. I'm a person that don't believe that you got to have kids to understand how to be a parent. I don't believe that bullshit at all. That's not, because I know a lot of people with kids don't have no don't ain't nothing but biological parents. They don't have no feeling of a parent whatsoever. So to me, to have a child doesn't deem you a parent. That deems you a biological pathway to a child being here. Okay, so I'm telling you, keep people out there. I think this is a good word. Do not pray for your kid. Have the set boundaries that protect you, but set boundaries and be there and set boundaries that protect you, but where you can be able to help the child if they come later on for your help. But don't let them back in your house if they didn't hit you right now. Don't let them back in your house until they prove to you they are going to do better. They are changing their life. And that is fair. Even when you participated in the madness as a parent, when you know you're like, dang, I know I should have did that better. A lot of you parents let your guilt eat at you. But at a certain point, yes, maybe you didn't do right. Forgive yourself as a parent. But also, you got to protect yourself and protect what's left of your that. Do not feel guilty, because feeling guilty will allow them energies to come in and wreck your life, and you in return will wreck your child's life. When you know that there's a certain you got to let your child now grow up and make the decisions. You can't be there involved, but you can have a space away from yourself, that sets boundaries, but that you can say, hey, okay, hey, mama, I want to get off drugs. I'm having problems. Okay, you can't come live with me, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put you in rehab for a little bit, and then afterwards, I'll try to, if you got money like that, I'll try to set you up in a place you can go stay. Can't stay here. Mama needs to see that you're trying to really do right. You know what I'm saying? You got to set boundaries. Some of y'all be like, well, come on home. And y'all ain't seen, and they come home and a terrorist. No, you got to see that they for real about change. Shit. I mean, I'm looking at them minors. No. I don't know what happened in their life, but they let that kids come up in their house, staying up in there. And they knew that daughter, they said, allegedly said, when the Reiners that was recently killed in Hollywood, Rob Reiner and all them, listen, that daughter said, they said immediately when they were killed, they knew, the daughter knew who could have possibly did it. Because they was already having problems with this person. And they was probably feeling guilty for they like, oh man, Hollywood, we've exposed him to so much. No, but at a point, he got to change his life. Even if you expose him, even if you did this, even if you wasn't a great parent, you still got to set boundaries. You are not at this, you cannot, not setting boundaries when a kid is grown up. You might have not been a great parent. Forgive yourself for that part of your journey. But don't let the guilt let you, what is the word? Nurture. I mean, not nurture. I forget the word for it when you do too much. Like when you enable somebody who doesn't need enabling, but now needs to make adult decisions for their own journey and own life. Yeah, hey, what I can do as a parent, I got a lot of money. I can set them up in rehab. I can make sure they set up in their own place. Can't come stay with me because you haven't proven yourself. But what you can do, I will help you as much as I can. But you got to show to me that you're serious. Don't let people come up in your house and stuff, living with you and stuff, walking up in your house. They cray because they your kids. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is the kind of stuff you can't, once you hear the hit, mama, you can't do nothing else. I'm telling her right now. Leave that to Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats. Let them deal with that. Okay, that's what they created, and that's what they deal with. You done put the red flags out. You done made it public. You did everything you could. Now it's time to let go. Okay, that's what I would say. Okay, moving on. This is sad too. That's sad. And Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats for real. Like, damn, what the hell? Like, if you need to take your part in it. If you know you've been giving this girl eatable, is she the one? She the one that was going to get that little kid's nails painted? I ain't gonna say that. Listen, I just I'm a person, even with stuff like that, even if your child is showing that they may be trans or later on, that's for them to decide at the age of when as they get in the older years. We would, if I had a child that way, 16, round of 16 or something, we can discuss what you're going through or what you just getting you therapy to deal with your future, how you're going to address that in the future, if you're going to go all the way over and stuff like that. But as a child, you will stay in the appropriate gender role. I am not going to be here to do that. That is for you to decide as an adult. But my thing pathway as a parent is to lead you as much as I can, and then help you to make those decisions as you get older yourself. But that's not one mama gonna make, because I'm guessing. I don't, because there could be a lot of things going on with kids. It don't mean it's transgender. It could be that they're more feminine, or they have more femininity qualities, or they have more this and that. But a lot of you parents just start taking on stuff and start doing stupid stuff, just letting kids do whatever the fuck they want to do. Like, I didn't like that. I always say I did not like what's his name transitioning his son over at 12 and 13 years old. The fuck, you can't tell me the fuck to do 12 or 13. You 12 or 13. Now, if he want to wear some little stuff, a little like a okay, but at 12 and 13, I'm going to guide you in the best way I can. And right now, for me, it's you maybe getting some therapy and stuff like that, and dealing with your issue, dealing with what you're wanting to be. If it's not an issue for you or whatever, figuring out what that is. Because at 12 and 13 years old, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's facts. You can start molding a kid into who they are at 12. There's so many reasons that you could be doing that. It could be a number of things, and it may not be that you're transgender. But if you get kids grab a hold of something at 12 or 13, and it could, and you've even, sir, I saw one thing where it was kids who were people who were doing that, and then when they got 20, they did the transitioning thing, and they found out that wasn't really what they were. Well, I think you have to become, because that process should happen in the adult years, when you're able to have formative a thought process about who you are. You're able to formally do that decision on your own, and that's something that you want to do, and that you may have had the hints for you since you were a child. But as a parent, I don't believe that parents should be involved in that process when children are 11 and 12 and 13 and 14. Those are formative years, okay? Even though kids can know what can have a sense of knowing, but that you still have to make that, such a big decision like that has to come in your adult formative years. Okay, that's just my part. But now you can give your child so much. But so many parents today, it's tough being a parent. It's tough. Y'all got the toughest job, rearing adults and trying to create a situation for them. But some of y'all just give up. Y'all just give in. And even when parenting becomes hard, sometimes you gotta say no to little motherfuckers. You gotta say no. I hate you. Well, go and hate me. I used to be getting mad about, boy. I get mad. I be saying some shit. My grandma be like, "Listen here, little heifer. You gonna realize how good you got." I had to think about it. I was like, shoot, she right. You be trying to talk, you get your teenage years, you start trying to get some, bravado. My girl be like, huh? Who you talking to? Girl, you got me. I will knock you out. Listen, okay? And will. Okay, so you know what I said. I was scared. I was like, shoot, hurry back up. I was like, I'm scared. Both of them. Shoot, I ain't lying. Even when I did stuff wrong, I'd be scared. I'd be like, please, Lord, don't let them find that. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a healthy dose of fear. They weren't, you know what I'm saying? They weren't perfect, but they were parenting. They were playing, okay? But no joke, okay? So that's why I'm saying you gotta be a parent. Parenting is one of the toughest, selfless jobs that you'll ever do. And shout out to y'all who do it, okay? And who do it with intention and grounding and love, most of all, love. Because love doesn't let you do anything you want to do. Love doesn't let you do, love protects your greater interest. A lot of parents are just so disconnected now. They just let them do whatever they want to do. Oh, you know what? As long as I'm teaching you how to smoke weed. I remember we had when I was growing up, there was one of the parent group, and our parent group, and she told my grandma one time. She said, "Well, I let them drink at my house, because they're gonna be drinking anyway." I remember my grandma said, "You won't be going over there." And I was like, she said, because you know what? She said, she said, you have some praise, everything, but you are not. She said, you ain't gonna be, she said, you ain't drinking up in my house. You too young. What is you doing drinking? Because I think you gonna sneak. You know that you ain't supposed to be drinking, don't you? Yes. Okay. Well, you ain't coming up in here because you know the rules. Not in my house. Yes, yes. And my grandparents were strict. They were not, but they were like what they say was what's up is what's up, and it was very clear boundaries. No, we don't let you do whatever you want to, because you know why we don't let you do whatever you want to? Because we love you. And when we do give you that extra rope or give you that extra thing, it's because we trust you. My grandma would say, I trust you to make wise decisions for yourself. I'd be like, oh, and I used to hate, my very big thing I hated is my grand. I always say my grandma was a little Jada Pinkish, in terms of like she loved for you to make your own decision. Like if I want to go to a party, like I remember one time I was wanting to go to this big house party, and she's like, so she's sitting there listening to me. She said, "Now, do you think that's a good idea?" She said, "I just want you to think about it. Now, what's gonna be at that house party? I'll let you think about it and make the decision." And I could hear my grandfather downstairs going on, "Hell no." She goes, "Grandma, like, just chill. If she gonna go, if she wanna go, at least we'll know where she's at or whatever." And I was like, it made me question it, because I was like, wait a minute, she's just gonna let me make the decision. But she would do that. It still does that when we talk now. Like, look, do you think that's right? Like, so I can fundamentally think. And I was like, I remember it was time for the party, the night of the party. A couple of my girlfriends came over and spent the night and hung out. And she was like, "Oh, I thought y'all was gonna go to the house party." She was like, I was like, "No, I don't think that's a good idea." It wasn't. It was ended up being fights and everything going on. She said, "I thought." She said, "I just want to make you that decision for yourself." So I always knew that it was trust when they gave me too much, and or they gave me more than I had, a little bit more rope, and it was when they said no, it was because hey, we don't want you. We got boundaries. So that's what you have to do. It's tough out here, parents. It is, and you got to be engaged when you have them. You know what I'm saying? You have to, or you'll raise up. The world will change and fundamentally will torment certain children. It's some adults right now dealing with childhood trauma. They can't get it right in their own life because of childhood trauma, because of the road parents led them on. So when you decide to bring a child here, you have the great privilege of being a parent. You have to, in my personal opinion, make it worth them being here. Give them all the tools you can. You're not going to be perfect, but give them as much as you can to lead a great life, and knowing that you did that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'll say there, okay? So Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats, this true. Y'all hope y'all get y'all shit together. Okay, let's talk about Summer Walker here. Y'all just, man. Somebody sent me this about Summer Walker. What I'm gonna say is probably gonna be controversy today, okay? About this. But oh man, let me just say, this is going to be how I feel about this. I'm gonna first show this clip of her y'all sent of her some of her things, some of her they are so funny. Okay, hold on. We sharing it. Okay, am I getting y'all sound up? I don't know if y'all can hear it or not. Okay, y'all can see it. Y'all see her interacting with the fans. Y'all don't really need to say out, but she's barely interacting with fans as they do meet and greets. Look, and some women even accused her of being more, uh, 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 engaged when the men would come and stuff like that. Okay, so let me just say this, and this is just my personal opinion on this, first of all, okay? Uh, y'all know how I feel about celebrity, and I believe we're in the age of Aquarius. Celebrity is going to change as much as they don't want it to, as much as they're fighting it. They listen, celebrities, really, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Being in the arts is a great privilege. Being able to get famous for it and have people love you is even more of a great privilege. And it is even more of a position of humility, in my personal opinion. And humility is a position of strength, okay? But it's also a business. I hate that we've stopped developing artists. I mean, some of y'all have just plucked these people out of wherever the fuck they came from and put them on stage and said, this is what the fuck you gonna do. Just sing till we use you up. And then we gonna dump you out of there, dump you out because you will not have learned basic skill set of running your own empire and own business. We was talking the other day. I was talking to a group of, talking to some artists, and we were talking. I was saying they were talking about how they actually. One person was saying, I would actually love to think about. We were talking about organizations, and they were saying, I would love to just have an organization where I'm like, I can just focus on the creative and nothing else and everything like that. But unfortunately, that's not life. I said, exactly. That's not grounded. And I've heard artists say this before. I just want to focus on the music. No, you don't. Your whole business, everything about your life. And this is what the problem has been for artists. A lot of y'all. This is why the reason why Hollywood is fucked up the way it's fucked up is because of you primarily. You have not stood up for yourself. You have not stood up for your art. Look, Prince and Michael Jackson came around there trying to tell all of y'all, and you motherfuckers still doing the same shit. That burp. Oh my God, I just burped in front of y'all. I hope y'all didn't hear that. Oh my God, this stuff I'm taking, it's just making me do little crazy stuff. I can't drink or anything, and it just comes out not that way, but it burps. I've been having a lot of burps. Get hood. Okay, but excuse me, y'all. But if y'all heard that, I don't even know if y'all heard that. But yeah, but listen, you have to have you're gonna have to have some skill set. These people, the reason why they've been able to run y'all around, cheat y'all, all these kind of things, because what I said is they got desperados. There's a lot of desperados out here in that industry. There's a lot of them. They got people who just want to be famous, who just want to get their music done and shared, and don't understand the price or the cost for that. And they know that. They know you're not asking no questions. They know you're not going to do this. They know they can handle you. They know they can do this. When this is your message to the world. You have to partner with people who believe in your message to the world and how you want to give it. And understand that these people are also in business. But you can't afford to just be sitting around being fucking creative all day and not understand the business sides of things, okay? Summer Walker, they pick girls like Summer is because is very talented, but she also is very interesting. She says a lot of interesting things, does a lot of provocative stuff. It's a lot of provocative things about Summer Walker, okay? And a lot of times what's going on in today's world is with celebrity is that provocativeness has made people more of a star than their talent. Remember, I love Whitney Houston. I mean, not Whitney Houston, Wendy Williams one time. And I agree with this to a point. Wendy Williams had, what's her name? Just a powerful singer, Deborah Cox, on her show one time. And Deborah Cox was talking, and she said, I can't see you being really big. and she told her, because you're so nice. You're so, there's nothing remotely interesting that you give off. I understood what Wendy was saying. And Deborah Cox is still out here and everything, but I understood what she was saying about Deborah was gave you very plain Jane, okay? Very protective or whatever. But fortunately in that industry, you have to have some sort of flair. Some sort of, and what's that flair has turned into is dysfunction. A lot of these people out here, it's not just flair anymore, or this and that. A lot of people are focusing on dysfunction. I'm sure if they focused on Deborah in the right way and focused on certain things and stuff, it could have blown up too, but they don't want to. They like to focus on dysfunction. Girl, why are you having meet and greets and you got personality? What they say, what is it the fuck they got? What she got? Uh, 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 what is it? Y'all saying the girl got personality something? I don't know. Anxiety. What the fuck you do? What? But she worked at Wendy's. I'm gonna tell y'all what she did before. She did what she had to do before. See, now she don't think she got to do what she got to do. That's entitlement. Now, when you was fucking working at Wendy's, I bet you had some a customer service. I bet when you worked at worked at them place, and if you was allowed to get away with that, well, this is a new day. You think because now they carrying you around in limos and running around and stuff. Well, now I got to talk to them. No, even more so, you got to be customer service oriented. Anxiety and all. I know there are artists who don't want to be every time they go out. Like Puffy was saying, I keep wet wipes around me because he was saying, he's hugging people constantly all day, every day. He understands that's his business. And he wasn't being messy in that. They tried to show that as messy, but I didn't see that as messy. I saw that as a man who understands that he does not want to not hug his fans and stuff like that. But he does understand he got to wash his hands and stuff because he's dealing with tons of people. Can you imagine all day being a famous person? Hi, yeah, you want to take a picture? If you get time, hey, let's take that picture. Hey, I saw one of my people friends who saw Maxwell. They saw Maxwell after the cruise. I mean, right after the cruise, and they took pictures with him. And I was like, wow, he was so nice to him. And I know Maxwell, to me, seems very anxious. He does. Every time I meet him, I always feel like there's some sort of anxiety. I have anxiety too, so I understand that, right? But I understand I got to do what I got to do, right? And I thought that was so beautiful. He looked so comfortable. He didn't give off any illusion that he was this and that. And he had the Michael Jackson mask. Let me stop. Listen, but what I'm just saying is that's what you have to do if you're in the business of show business. The business of show business is a business. You have a fan base. It's just like you're the face of your fan base. You're the customer service. You're everything. It's just like when I walk into some fast foods have today's world is the concept of service has completely gone awry. These companies have just become when I say they become something different, they don't promote customer service, and that's because most people don't care. Y'all become desperados yourself. Y'all just accept anything. But service is rare. And when you look at your career as being an artist, like I am serving the public. This is a blessing. All these perks and stuff I get around me for serving the public. I get beautiful perks for serving the public. I get, yes, it can be difficult. It can be hard at times serving the public, but guess what? I get $1 million for singing. I get I can walk in tonight and do a meet and greet and make probably $30,000 on that meet and greet. Where I was working at McDonald's the motherfucking yesterday. I was working at motherfucking Pizza Hut. Now, Summer Walker, you is blessed. How many kids Summer Walker got? Let me sit up here and talk with this. See, because I'm about to talk about the motherfucker. Because these motherfuckers need to understand how many kids she got. See, this is people ain't humble. Summer, a daughter named Bobby, and twin sons. Okay, she got 3 kids. 3 kids. It is girls right now with 3 kids by 2 different baby daddies or 3 different baby daddies living under the poverty line because just just having those children out of time and out of marriage has cost them dearly. But you got opportunity to share your gift with the world. Bitch, you ain't got no reason to be having no funky ass attitude. That ain't no personality disorder. That's a funky. She said, I've been like that since I was young. I saw some of the tapes. I saw some of the video of her talking to different people and said she been like that since she was young. No, maybe nobody ever confronted it. Go get some help because now you're in the service business. Being an artist is service. The reason people come out there to see you and hear your songs is because they relate to you in some sort of way. This is your fan base who allows you to have those perks, who allows you to ride around and get driven around from point A to point B, who allows you to who brings you, my spiritual mom used to say, Keisha, your gifts will bring you before great men. That's what the Bible says. Your gifts will bring you before great men. This gift has allowed you to be before great men, people greater than yourself. Even your mistakes ain't catching up to you because the gift is out there working for you. And the audience is the people who allows you the blessing to live that way. The minute you lose that audience, Hollywood will turn on you faster than fuck. Even if you don't lose the audience, sometimes they'll make you lose it. How dare you get up there and think you don't got to change? Think you ain't got to evolve? think that's just how I am. Huh. What? The nerve and the entitlement of it all. And I can tell you this, sis, they probably using you in that industry. They probably using you for whatever they can get. They know you a problem. They know you an issue. And there was people who was allowed to do that. I can name some of them. I know some of them that has been allowed to have funky attitudes most of their career and nasty works. But this is the time they'll probably be getting exposed to. Your fans pay for meet and greets. Do you know how much? Like, did you know you should? I don't want to cuss her out, ma'am. You know you was working at Wendy's. It's a chick right now who look up to you, who probably working at Wendy's, and say, "Damn, I love Summer Walker. Look what Summer Walker. She used to work here. Look what she did for her life. I'm gonna save my money up to go see her. You know how long that cost to save her to come see your ass?" And he's sitting up there. I don't barely got to touch you. I mean, would you like to go back to Wendy's? Because you can. No, this is a business. It requires more of you. Well, I don't want to get out of my way. Well, you're going to have to get out your way. I remember I was so shy back in the day. I was shy and I had my grandmother was discovering little talents about me. Like, teachers was telling her little stuff. And so she's like, oh, she doing that. I remember that. And so I remember I was going to, my first thing was I went to the theater for the young, like in Kansas City. And my grandmother, I was acting so shy. I remember my grandmother said, Kiki, I know that you don't, but do you like this? Yeah. You can't afford to be shy. You got to be something else right now. Show them what you can do. Okay. And that led to me taking my little self when I was like 10 years old. I was like singing. I was already singing. And then we used to have these big talent shows at our grade school. This guy used to give them, they were huge all over the city. Like, people would come from all the high schools, everything to audition for this talent show. They were really popular. And he was over this like big time drill team in our area and stuff too. And that they happened to be at my grade school. The guy, because he was the guy would have them at my grade school. He's still a friend of mine to this day. One of the most important people in my life that taught me to embrace like my talent and stuff, even though I got afraid a little later on in years and stuff like that. But that led me when my grandmother told me that you got to be who you are. I was super shy. I had one friend. To this day, Shauna, loved that girl. She said, "No, Keisha, we're going. You need to audition." And I'm like, okay. I walked in there and I know my grandmother was like, hey, you got to do what you got to do. My papa was like, hey, you Keisha, you do whatever you want. That's my papa. Right. So I go. They don't know I'm auditioning. I'm in the audition. My friend Shada is kind of a loud girl or something like that. So I remember she got put out the audition. So I'm super scared now. I get up there. I have my little Stacey Lattisaw album. It's the song. It's Don't Throw It All Away. And my little self got up there, honey, and blew they butts away. But I just knew I could hear my grandma saying, you got to do what you got to do. And I won talent shows. I went to other schools performing and stuff. I still sing. If I really want to, I can sing really good. And later on, I remember in the years, my grandma said, it just ain't that important to you no more. If it's important to you, you will pull it back. I'm not worried about that. When it's important to you, you know how to pull out what you want to do. I tell that story is because you got to do what you got to do. Evolution, when you're going to be, if you are a singer and you've been gifted and privileged enough to, and I know that world is funky and nasty, and a lot of it is because you guys allow it to be. You artists allow you become something else. You become entitled bitches entitled motherfuckers who think you are not in the business of service, but think everybody else is supposed to serve your funky ass because that business gives you the illusion that you're not a servant. No, it does give you that illusion. It gives you an illusion that your talent is so big that everybody want to be around you, everybody want to know you, everybody this and that, but you're actually a servant. When you understand that, you don't let the pandemonium get to you, and you understand that I'm a servant first, and I'm a servant. This gift is from God, so I have to use it in the way He wants, and I understand it's a business. That's a lot of you. You don't understand that. A lot of you is just entitled. You don't have no sense of evolution. You actually got there. A lot of you today is so easy to fucking walk up into entertainment. It used to take people years. People singing it 20, 30 years in a nightclub and they waiting for somebody to come in here. They've been passing their demos out to everybody. Now you get your some of y'all get y'all funky asses up on the internet fast as all I do. They used to take you years to get used to go through artist development. They wouldn't even let you out. If you didn't have your personality, even if you had a fucked up personality, they was helping you to hide it. They was teaching you how to have customer service, teaching you how to be in that business. Now they don't even do that. They just put you motherfuckers jump off the internet and just be a star. And some of you old ones that had to do it the old school way don't remember how you had to do it. Some of y'all done got so entitled for so many years that y'all just don't give a fuck no more. You just like, how we get this next check? How I get the next check? Because the check has become more important to you and you're not of service anymore. This is the age of Aquarius, you dum-dums. Hey, dumb. Hey, dumb. These dumb. The age of Aquarius. What are Aquarius is known for? Philanthropy, service. How you're going to win is understanding you're a servant first. That's hard for these entitled people who run around in limos all day, get $500,000 for nothing. Get $100,000 just because you showed your face in the joint. That's hard for you to see that. Oh, it's so hard because they've given you a different illusion. They've given you the illusion that you're needed. But there's a new crop of all ages coming up who are servants, and they're going to move y'all out of there. Some of y'all grow up with the new school because you know the Bible say let the wheat grow up with the tares. But this is bad. She don't think she got on the internet. Wait, I'm gonna show this. Okay, let me find that if I can find her. It's trying to explain why she is the way she is. Okay. Look at it. Look at this. Okay, listen to this. Listen to this.
Call it a disorder, call it what you want. I hug my dad like this and my mom like this, like a little church hug, and I tap him on the back and I back up. I don't like nobody touching me. It just is what it is.
Okay, so it is what it is. So quit having meet and greets because you're not good at them, and you don't want to develop how to have. I'm a person like that. I don't like people touching on me, but I've learned to be a hugger. Even I'm still uncomfortable with it, but I understand that part of me being friendly and being a personality and part of what I got to do in this world, God is like, Keisha, I need you to embrace people. I need you to love on people, even if you don't always want to tell. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. I would go into a place. I remember one time I went to a place and listen. I'm very shy. My natural disposition is shy. Probably person a little anxiety. I'm even if you see me in concerts, I'm very shy. But I make it my business to talk to people. I make it to try to break that ice because I knew I was a little girl who grew up very shy and observant of people. And then I knew that some of that is self-consciousness and some of that's fear of different things, anxiety, abandonment, all that stuff. I had to heal that. You shouldn't be in show business if you ain't got that shit healed because this is a business of customer service. Just because you got talent, don't let your talent put you where your character can't keep you. Just because you got talent don't mean that's all you got to give to the masses. Then you need to go sit your ass home. This is a business that requires service and requires you to interact with people. She's up here making excuses and she being allowed to make excuses, and a lot of the fan base is letting her do that because a lot of y'all let these desperados run around here. And they keep selling these desperados out there to y'all. Okay. Evolution is important.
Is it true that you work like odd jobs?
Listen to her. Where she worked.
And is it true that you work like odd jobs even after being the success that you are, and the label had to pay you to stop working?
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
What happened? Why?
Let's tell you what's going on.
I've been about my money from day one.
We understand that.
Well, okay, she's about her money, but she's obviously not about her money. They letting her get away with a lot of stuff. Sis, I'm telling you, if you don't evolve, they're gonna use you up. They're gonna get you.
Okay, so I feel like everybody's really excited to talk.
I'm just gonna tell you this. They probably telling her some of these people in show business. It's probably telling her this is a part of, you know, this is hey, we're gonna this is just to be a part of your this is just a part of your image. You're gonna be that, you know, kind of nasty. No, don't let them do you like that, and don't let them suck you out of the beautiful experience you're having with sharing your talent to the world. You can continue to be a bird type of personality if you want to, or you can evolve. You can stay having a Wendy's motherfucking mentality if you want to, or you can evolve. And I guarantee you that this will eventually eat you up, even if you stay successful in it. Because this is requiring some sort of service. Your fans are already talking about you. They was dogging her. They was like, she coming in. They like, this is she. You don't need to do meet and greets right now. Then, like the nerve of I hug my parents like this. Girl, if you was running a business, you are running a business, and the face of the business is you. That's how it is in your business. Otherwise, you need to go find the donut shop. And the donut shop gonna require you to do something, be nice. The local club gonna require you to be a little nice. You can get away with a lot more there, but they're gonna require, but you're trying to be a worldwide singer. And you out here being nasty work. Well, you know, I don't really touch, I got anxiety. Bitch, evolve. Get some help. Hey, I know that I need to be out there more with the fans. I need to be more out there doing this and that. What I have to do for a living, I have to be more in something. But y'all think y'all nasty work. Y'all think y'all supposed to be. And wait a minute, hold on. Let me tell you something too. I'm gonna say something. I'm getting ready to go to another part in a minute. What y'all think? Well, you know, I can't just live my life for the fans. Well, you don't want to live your life for the fans, but you do have to understand that they are the ones who servicing. It's like when you got a job, when you had to wake up and go to Wendy's every day. You didn't get a motherfucking check at Wendy's if you didn't show up. And you have a certain type of behavior you give to Wendy's. Now, I know these people in Hollywood make you feel entitled and it's all about your ass, but it really ain't. And really, show business is such an interesting thing because I find it to be one of evolution. Really, I really do. I feel like you have to evolve. Like I always laugh when they talk about Dolly Parton because she never says what people think. Like I remember I was listening to somebody on the set talking about how they was complaining about how it was too hot on the Steel Magnolias. I can't remember what set it was. And they said it to Dolly, and Dolly looked at him and said, well, she said, honey, I remember a time when I didn't even get on, I wasn't even on the set. Like she's always humble. Like that doesn't mean she doesn't demand the best for herself and demand great conditions, but she's also understanding that I am blessed to where I've come to. This to me is a blessing. Even the headaches with it is a blessing. Helper, you could be back at Wendy's working 10 hours and 20 hours trying to get some form of lifestyle. Now, if you can go back because your attitude is at Wendy's, but you need to bring your attitude to show business and the music business. That's what you need to do before it eats you up. But not like the lack of evolution, the lack of not wanting to evolve. And this is what that industry has done to a lot of people. Like a lot of people that y'all consider legends that have lasted in the industry for years and years. And when you meet them and you find out about their lifestyles behind the scenes, what you find is because they didn't evolve or they didn't have some forms of evolution, their life has eaten them up. Fame is really eating them up. They just propped up there. They look like they happy. But a lot of them are getting eat up because they're not allowing they're not allowing themselves to understand they're a servant. And they're not allowing themselves to understand evolving to the place that you are now and having gratitude. A lot of times what fame creates is arrogance, ego tripping. Because a lot of them don't know what to do with fame. They don't understand that fame is a gift too. It's a gift of influence. It's a gift of recognition. And if you don't know how to use fame, because you're not, as a human being, you're not supposed to be worshiped. So you got to learn how to put that worship back on something. Evolution, you have to be able to have something standing behind you, spiritual, godly. And that in return, God feeds you and lets you know what this is all about. But when you start ego tripping, thinking it's all about you and stuff, I guarantee you most of them be eat up. They be most of them, you can see that where they haven't evolved, you can see they done got ate up. They just hanging on barely. And you think you looking at them saying, oh, they look so glamorous, they look so this and that. They're not. They all involved in all kind of shit, trying to take the trauma off of them. They get involved in occults. They get involved in all kind of bullshit. I believe they out there covering their eyes and taking oaths and shit. Some of them, yeah, they are because they stupid, because they don't know where to put that energy to. They don't understand who they are. And so the enemy's been along to able to come along and snatch them up. Snatch their souls. I don't want to evolve. I just want to be what I want to be. I barely hug my parents. You know what I'm saying? Just a bird attitude in a eagle bird place. You acting like a crow and you up there in the eagles area. Let me quit talking about her ass, okay? I don't like it. And I understand fans can be tough, and some of them can be horrible. Sometimes people want too much of you, but this ain't asking for too much for you to act nice in a meet and greet. You people are coming in there and they being inspired by it. You're like, you know why she don't think she has to do much in a meet and greet? Because she don't think much of herself. That's why. This is really the truth. No, this is the truth. She don't think that she got that much power. She came, but if she understood what she got, if she understood that there's a girl coming in there that admire her and maybe the next her in their life because of what they watched her do, if she understood that, she would be like more friendly, more understood. She come up out of that because she understand the power of what she had, but she's a powerless bird there. In an eagle's, she's a powerless crow up in the eagle's situation. She don't really know the power she got. So she don't think she's having a lack of evolution. And some dumb managers and people are telling her that's your imaging. No, it's not. It's never good imaging to treat your customer base like shit. Quit being a basic ass bird and step up to your call. Meet your calling. Because if you don't, it will tear you up. Powerful. It's powerful that you're there. If you understood the weight that comes with what you got. Well, I don't want to be all that. That's not why I didn't ask to be all that. Well, then step your ass out the music business and let somebody else have them perks who's ready to take on that. That's not for you. Because you're going to get eaten alive in it. Hey, what the fuck is going on here? And fans, quit, don't go no more meet and greets. You know she messy in meet and greets. Don't go. And I saw this the other day. This is just right up the alley of, this is why I said, why did the record label stop developing artists? This is from Killer Vic Beats. They put out here. And I want y'all to see this because I don't know if what, but I thought about it being interesting. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Hopefully y'all can hear. I don't know if y'all can hear.
And if you go back far enough, that system really starts with Motown. Motown didn't just sign artists and throw them into the spotlight. They had vocal coaches, stage training, and even etiquette classes. They were building complete performers, not just recording songs. That system produced legends like Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and a young Michael Jackson. Today's artists can blow up online before that kind of development can ever happen. And that's part of the reason why music today doesn't last 30 or 40 years. Sometimes it doesn't even last a year. Why did record labels stop developing artists? Because there was a time when record labels actually trained singers for years before they became stars. And if you go back far enough, that system really starts with Motown. Motown didn't just sign artists and throw them into the spotlight. They had vocal.
Okay, and the only thing Motown missed to me was therapy. Therapy I throw in therapy today too, because a lot of these people they're ultra talented, but they need help. A lot of their minds ain't ready for where they're going. And you got to have a mindset to be ready for where you're going. Like even the NFL is starting to do that with certain players. They're starting to look at just not helping the player financially get the mindset and everything, preparing to be in this new lifestyle of yours, because they've had far too many situations where people have been out broke and stuff. But the unfortunate part of the music industry and the show business industry in itself is that it is a business of sharks and demonic energy, a lot of it, and they sometimes eat off the carcass of of undeveloped artists. They get fed and they get more. The business itself gets engrossed in its power by eating off the dead carcass of artists that have just given away their power. I mean, and that's a really true factual truth of that. A lot of artists have just, they have a lot of people have given away a lot of their power, a lot of their energy to that beast, and that beast doesn't do well anymore. I mean, that beast doesn't do them anywhere well anymore. So you have to basically now you have to empower yourself. I would say to now that most artists need to be empowered in themselves. Like you fame can't be it for you. Yes, you want to make money off of where you're going and everything, but I'm gonna tell you, they gonna get you every time with the fame. If you want to change that industry from feeding off of you and feeding off of your energy, you gotta have something more. You gotta understand that this is what I say to people. If you're an actress and everything, you don't have to just act in Hollywood. If Hollywood wants to, Hollywood wants to, hey, take away your pride and your dignity and your self-worth, and then that's not something you should choose. You got to figure out what the price is. What price is too high? Hey, that's too high for that. And let me tell you something. If you develop it, sometimes they come after you. Hollywood will change the rules for you. It's some people that haven't done that works in Hollywood, and they ain't did nothing to sell their souls. They ain't did none of that stuff. There's some singers right now that's working in Hollywood, healthy, strong, being music producers, music singers, background singers, front singers, everything, that have not sold their soul because they like, I got my price and I'm not doing it. And the industry has said, we just like, she good anyway, we gonna come after her. So sometimes that's not. Sometimes you meant to do another thing in another area, but there's always other places to sing. There's always other places to do things. You do not have to sell your soul to do that. You can wait until the opportunity. Let me tell you something. If God wants you to be a big time recording artist, ain't nothing that can stop you from it. Nothing. Not one damn thing that can stop your destiny from recording. God will cause your enemies to be at peace with you. He will cause evil men, there's been parts in history that a lot of times the world don't understand. Talking about, well, he had a King James write the Bible, because King James was a tool. Even though he was evil, there are times that evil men have been at peace with good men. They've recognized good men and gave good men favor, because they realize, I don't want no smoke with they God. So you got to empower yourself with who you are as an artist and the price that you're willing to pay. And also be understanding that you got to evolve. You can't be having no bird mentality like Summer Walker in an ego's place. You can't be no basic bird still acting like you working at Wendy's. And don't let them tell you that's part of your, that's just part of your imaging to be a basic bird. No, it's not. These fans out here is ticked at her. But they done paid $400 and $500 for meet and greets, $600. I don't know who the hell was going to meet Summer Walker anyway, but I digress. You done pay a lot of money to go to these meet and greets, and she don't barely want to touch you. I don't even touch my parents. I don't even. And here's the really rough part about it, Summer. Let me tell you something. Summer, you could have did the Maxwell when Maxwell had during COVID. He had that plastic thing over him. You could have just smiled at him from behind the plastic thing. Even though I don't like that plastic shit, but you could have did that. It would have looked better. But no lack of evolution. She's okay to my. I always been like this. But listen, girl, the place that you're in now is requiring something you to be different. You can't bring basic bird ghetto shit to this new place. You can't do it. You gotta be something different. But you fans can't allow her to do it. You gotta make her evolve. And I'm saying this to save her. I'm hoping to save her life or any other artist that's coming up. Save your life, because that industry is going to eat you up. You could be successful in it, but it's going to eat you up. You're going to be an unhappy basic bird in a place where an ego is supposed to be. I can name a few people who is in the graveyard right now because they refused to come into their destinations. They wanted to be a basic bird instead of understanding that you got to be an eagle to be in that atmosphere. They didn't want to evolve. Motown and stuff had it right. They just needed to add therapy and some other things into that. But they had it right. Artist development was so important. And some of y'all getting in there too fast nowadays. Too fast, too much, too soon. Let's talk about Live Nation, okay? Oh my goodness. Live Nation. Talking about basic birds. Now, I want to say this because I believe the artists be in on this shit too, okay? And I'm going to say a few things that might not make people happy about what I'm going to say, okay? But this is a report from the Today Show for Live Nation this week. What happened when Live Nation has been up here talking about fans in emails. A couple of their executives allegedly was talking about fans being them duping fans. Let's take a listen to this report, okay? And I'm going to say what I think about this.
Wild.
Oh my God, $1,000.
Sky high ticket prices.
So ticket prices are insane.
With hefty fees tacked on.
Look at the service fee per ticket.
And this morning, newly unsealed internal messages showed 2 ticketing employees at Live Nation, the parent company of Ticketmaster, joking about trying to gouge fans with $200 VIP upgrades and parking fees topping out at $250. At times, bragging they were, quote, robbing them blind. In another exchange, one employee writes, "These people are so stupid. I almost feel bad taking advantage of them," then laughing. According to court documents, both still work for the company.
If you're someone that likes live music, you should be infuriated that the people that work at Live Nation think this of you.
The messages, all written between 2021 and 2023, had been part of the Justice Department's antitrust trial against Live Nation. The 2 sides reached a tentative settlement agreement this week, but 26 states and D.C. are still suing, arguing the company has monopolized live events in the U.S. and want to use the comments as evidence in trial, which could continue as soon as Monday.
The states want these messages in because they say it speaks to the heart of the case, whether or not there were consumer frauds, fraudulent business practices.
In a motion to get them excluded, Live Nation argues they were irrelevant private remarks, telling NBC News in a statement, the exchange absolutely does not reflect our values or how we operate. Adding, because this was a private Slack message, leadership learned of this when the public did and will be looking into the matter promptly. But live music lovers, like some Swifties, still reeling from Ticketmaster's mishandling of the Eras Tour sales, which the company apologized for.
I'm not getting tickets.
Now hoping for a change of tune in the ticketing industry.
It won't be. And let me tell you why.
So the states haven't settled yet because they think they can still do more for these fans.
Yeah, again, I think a lot of people saw that headline earlier this week about that settlement. That is with the Justice Department, but there's still the 26 states as well as the District of Columbia.
And let me tell you something, unless you break up that monopoly, because they have a monopoly over different venues and everything, that needs to be broken up. You shouldn't be saying to other promoters, you can't use this venue because Live Nation uses this venue. Nope. That's a monopoly. And then you got nerves enough to have they must have been big executives saying trust me, if 2 big executives is thinking that I bet that attitude is rampant all through the fucking company. That's just my personal opinion. I bet it, and it don't just start. You know who partners with Live Nation? These artists do. Some of these artists are in such close deals with Live Nation. You can look them up who they are. Y'all know who they are. Live Nation, they partner with these people. These artists do. You artists are responsible. You can't sit your monkey asses back and hide. You motherfuckers are setting prices with Live Nation. Trying to, well, we ain't know nothing about their service fees. No, it's more than a service fee. They said they was jacking up the prices to see you. And then a lot of these people, which I heard Jill Scott this weekend. I love me some Jill Scott, but Jill, I'm gonna tell you this. Trying to tell people they gotta lock up their phones and stuff to come fucking see you. Listen, I understand that you don't like people, a lot of you artists don't like it. Really ain't really the disturbance of the phones. I really think it's sometimes they trying to get money in the best ways they can. They trying to license and stuff. But these tickets, Jill Scott's motherfucking $500 and $600 a ticket. And you got Live Nation right now talking about allegedly employees of Live Nation in email saying they treating these fans like suckers because they overpaying for y'all asses. And you got the nerves to tell somebody you want to lock up a fucking phone? Fuck that. You can't do that. That's my personal opinion. She gonna be able to do it because it's a lot of fans who are suckers. But I don't think you should ask fans to lock up their phones. And not at this kind of rate. You should be like, whoa, yo. They are paying $500 and $600 a ticket. If they want to tape some of the show, if they want to tape the show, I don't care. And that doesn't, let me tell you, this is a new date and time, in my personal opinion. Those help. A lot of times, them showing your parts of your show on YouTube and stuff, it makes people want to go see. Some people it don't. Some people want to watch it on YouTube. But there are a lot of people who say, I went to go see it because I saw it on YouTube and it looked like it was really good. I saw parts of it. I saw a clip of it. I saw this. That's part of your pub. Y'all done became desperados. Y'all so focused. Y'all so needing money, but y'all in a real bad position now. It's a really funky ass position. The position is that they saying they overcharging for y'all, and they giggling about it and making your fans. These are people you partner with. You're partnering with Live Nation. A lot of you. These people don't think anything of your fans. Your partner doesn't think anything of your fans. Allegedly, some members of your partner's organization don't think much of your fan base. And then you want to come in and say, well, you know what? I'm going to lock up the phones. What? Well, I just want you to have the experience. No, that's not up to you. It's not up to you to tell me how paying $500 and $600 a ticket and $300 a ticket to come see your ass, how I'm supposed to experience you. That's a lot of money. If y'all was back in the day offering saying what y'all used to give about $75 a ticket to 50, I say, all right, I understand that. But they saying they overcharging for y'all asses. And they overcharging on parking. Have some respect for your fan base. And it's a dangerous time to have phones locked in a pouch anyway. Shit, in these shows. It's too dangerous for that nowadays. You fucking that war with Iran and all kind of shit going on. You need people to have their phones out and ready in case they got to call the police or call somebody for help. You don't need people's phones locked up. And you can't trust venues and all these people to be able to get to emergencies quick. People need their phones, and that we living in a new time. I tell you, and that's going to end up if something ends up happening in one of these shows, they're going to sue them. They're going to sue her too. They'll sue different people because if something happens, like if there's some sort of terrorist attack or something, and people aren't able to get to their phones, oh my God. I'm surprised that Live Nation and them don't tell them no to this because of the liability that can cause. Like, no, we're not going to do that. If we were living in a different type of world, yes. Now, in something like when you do something like the symphony, like Maxwell did, or you have a special show or something like that, maybe allowing something that, letting people lock up their phones, but giving also having some sort of emergency code that they can break if they need to call an emergency or something like that, or something needs to happen. But other than that, I don't know if that's a good fucking idea anymore. We're in a different time and space. And then they saying they overcharging for you. So fans are going to feel like, you know what? How you going to be telling me what I need to do at your show? I mean, listen here. I'm paying $600 for this ticket. Can I get a picture of you? Can I get something? And this is the world you live in. You live in a new world of evolution. So you got to find a way to work with the fans and their phone. You know what I see? I see artists do all kind of fun stuff. Like, you know, I don't like artists who do that. I don't like locking up your phone. So I don't think that's cute at all. I don't like it. I don't think this is a cute thing. I think in this day and time, that's hard to do. When you ask, when you spending so much, but fans are dumb enough. That's what the Live Nation's executives, people were saying. Y'all dumb enough. Y'all let them do it. Okay. So, and I've had that happen where I went to a show, you know, and I didn't like that. I didn't like my phone locked up. I didn't like that. And it wasn't even, I was like, the show was good, but I was like, damn, man. And then a lot of y'all ain't even putting out like a concert show for it. Like I can see if you was getting ready to sell the footage. You're overcharging and you're asking fans for extra. Look at what these people are doing right here. I'm just saying. And then I'm hoping these companies are looking at the liability of phones in this day and time, possibly being locked up in situations that could be dangerous. We're in a dangerous time. Can't have your phone locked up, unfortunately. Your phone, maybe you can ask people, hey, y'all, take y'all pictures, but as we get into the concert, let's y'all see y'all favorite. I really actually don't. I actually think you should be used to it by now. Unless you're having a special concert, this is what I'm saying. If you're having a special show with like the symphony or something like that. Other than that, and that's the only time I had my phone locked up. It was a symphony show. I can understand that. They just should have told people ahead of time. But I like that if it's something special, but then you should have heavy security around in this day and time, okay? Because what I will tell you as artists, that could cause you problems if something happens. Who was that artist that had the stampede or whatever? I think it took him years to get out of that legal trouble. He's still going through legal trouble for that stuff, for the stampede that happened at his show. People start personally suing him. So as artists, you have to understand it's not just about your experience, your idea of an experience back in 1983 they had. This is a new day. People have phones and everything. And then we're in new unprecedented times. And then you got Live Nation executives allegedly laughing in emails talking about they overcharging for y'all asses. Okay. So I have some humility in the situation to say, you know what, I might not ask for that because there's a lot going on. Okay. Essence Fest this week announced that some artists they were gonna have. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this, okay? The Essence Fest, they had the Essence women. I'm gonna say something, Black people. I'm gonna really say something. I don't know if I'm right on it, and I don't know if it's right to say. Okay. They had the Essence women's thing after we found out about Essence. Celebrities don't listen. They are so self-evolved. A lot of them don't even know what's going on in their day-to-day fucking day. They just don't know. And if they do know, they just know we're not going to protest. They know we're not going to make them pay for it. They know. And I just, I want to call y'all to boycott, but you can't boycott when these motherfuckers are still showing up at Essence Fest, when they still getting money, when they still getting going to the Essence Women's thing, even though they know what's going on. They know a lot of them have heard that there's trying to be an erasure, a globalism, a movement to erase Black America. You know that. And instead of doubling down and respect and saying, you know what, this is my culture. I have to respect our culture. As an artist, we need word from Essence that they are going to understand the history of Essence, understand our Black American artists. We're not going to do this. But you don't have them type of people. And unfortunately, a lot of us ain't like that, because when we see the celebrities, we go. I'm just enjoy Essence Fest. Do whatever you fucking want to. I mean, really, I at this point, I don't know if boycotts and stuff work anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like the Target boycott. I told y'all I don't understand what motherfuckers talking about. I had somebody tell me this week, and I respect this person. She told me the reason they boycott, she know that they don't get that Black people don't get much from DEI. Okay, I'm like, okay, but that's how we got. Oh my God, you sound like the desperate girlfriend that the boyfriend cheat on her all the time and do all kind of shit to her. But you don't understand. That's how we got. You ain't even near the top of the benefactor. You mean all you got is a DEI program that does nothing but benefit white women and other groups, and you at less than 3 to 4%, the very group it was created for? Like, what are we doing? We're so lost. We're gonna get taken out. They're gonna erase us. I'm tired of trying. I don't even want to. I'm just praying for God. I'm just asking God to give our people wisdom. You got people out here fighting. I mean, even though they different, I think Tariq fights for recognition. You got ADOS trying to fight, but Yvette and them, even though they fight each other, you still got these people trying to prevent our erasure politically, mentally, spirit. It's hard. It's hard when y'all just lack the fortitude. We've been here along. We've been in America. We've been here several generations now. We're American as American. We are the American thing. And yet we just have not grown up politically, spiritually, mentally. I don't know if I want to fight no more. I just don't want to fight. I'm sorry. I'm at this point. I just don't care. I don't want to go there. I'm thinking that shit. I might go F some damn stuff. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting for people who don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about being a racist. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about making no shit. I'm tired. Be slow. All I'm doing is praying. I'm there was that point, being Mary Jane. I don't know if y'all ever saw the play, the show on TV where Gabrielle Union was a star. And at first she was this hardcore, like fight for the people. And then she decided one year she was just going to sell out. She was like, I'm just going to accept opportunity. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to blah, blah. And she was, her whole life got lighter. It got better, everything, She said, I'm just going to stop fighting for the people. I'm at that point. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I know that you can't. It's hard to be a warrior and fight for. I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm at. Y'all gonna have to pray for me, because I'm just like, like what? Why fight for who? I even saw Amanda last night. Amanda was so disgusted. Amanda was so tired. Amanda was like, y'all telling me Jay-Z, who over the NFL, Amanda, y'all got Amanda out here even. Amanda's even changed her tune. Yes, Amanda from Amanda Seals. Yes. Amanda was disgusted. I said, damn, we out. We just had I don't know. I don't. Even though I disagree with Amanda on a lot of things, but I saw the disgust in her face. It's just tired. You get tired of trying to. I remember I heard Bishop Jakes give a sermon one time, and he said, don't jump in the water to save somebody, don't put without putting on your life jacket first. Understanding that a drowning person will pull you under, you got to understand that person's going to fight you first. And that's what y'all doing. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to be out here just trying to give the information, trying to make Black people say, listen, there's something awry going on. Like, are y'all gonna stand up? Y'all just don't care. And these celebrities, they make it even worse. They just such entitled bitches. Not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all. Oh my God, they desperados who just trapped. And we all got something we trapped by different things in life. You know what I'm saying? But it's our business to untrap ourselves. I mean, I just can't. Anyway, moving on. Miss Tina's gumbo. Miss Tina, they didn't like your gumbo at the thing. I mean, they talked about your gumbo. I mean, Miss Tina, first of all, y'all starting to be like Master P, your family. I'm starting to think there's something else going on here. Y'all selling cookie batter, hair products, chicken fingers. I mean, you know, Master P, like Master P was selling cereal. He was selling everything, potato chips. I was like, what is going on around here? Usually when you're doing that and you unstable, it means you trying to get money some sort of way. Miss Tina, you didn't even have to go up there and sell your gumbo like that. And you shouldn't have, listen, the need for attention, sometimes don't even just test it and don't put your name on it, because sometimes people going to hate on it just because it's you, Miss Tina. You should have just hid it and then seen how people reacted to it. And then if a lot of people was liking it, waited for a while, and then shut your face. You know the biggest problem with a lot of celebrity brands is they want to show their face too much. Let me tell you why a lot of them want to do it, because a lot of times they don't have good products and they just trying to sell the brand. They using their personality and face to sell the brand. But a lot of times too, they don't understand the power of just shutting the fuck up. Like sometimes if you got a really good brand and you got a really good thing, like if you I remember there was years ago this movie Whoopi Goldberg played in called The Executive. And it was about a Black woman who was trying to make it, I think, in the world of Wall Street and all this stuff. So she hid who she was. She hid behind a lot of white males and hid behind a lot of things and stuff. And she was able to amass so much power, and nobody knew who she was because she was hidden. She hid behind all these white, but she would have the white men come and do business and do this and do that for her. It was such a good movie. Ooh, one of my favorite movies. I ain't seen that in a long time. I need to see that again. But if y'all need to, I think it was called The Executive or The Associate or something like that. Whoopi Goldberg is the star of it. One of the most powerful movies ever, okay? That's what some of y'all have failed to do. You failed. A lot of y'all just put y'all face out there and y'all don't got no wisdom. Like the fuck, you don't get no, either you too attached to, you shouldn't be attached to a product right away, or you not attached to it. Now, in the taste of Miss Tina's gumbo, Miss Tina, this was a food product that you didn't need to put your face on. You just could have named it anything, okay, and seen how it did. I know the people would have been like the execs behind you, but sometimes you got to use userism. I know the execs would have been like, no, Miss Tina, we need your face out there because that's how it's going to sell. That's how it's going to this and that. But maybe you could have did something else to sell it. They could have come up with a more creative way than my face. Because my face could also be the damage. Just a lot of stuff going on right now with that brand over there, that nose, Beyonce nose brand and all that stuff. It's a lot of stuff happening right now. So Miss Tina, this would have been a perfect time, in my personal opinion, that you shouldn't have put your name on that gumbo. Because motherfuckers is dogging that gumbo. They dogging it so bad. They talking about y'all done gave them food poisoning. This is so crazy. They talk about, okay, let me look at it. Let me see some of y'all talk about Miss Tito's gumbo. So I can put it up here. Let's see, y'all talking about it bad. Let me see if I can look it up. I mean, y'all don't talk. Sometimes you just need to hide yourself. You don't need to let people know that you the brand behind it. Like, especially when you're oversaturated, like the Beyonce Carter brand is, and you're oversaturated for failed product placements. Like you guys start off strong, but then the product eventually ends up burning out. Miss Tina, y'all have had a number of those. Like you look at the all this stuff that y'all have done, y'all probably got quick money grabs, but eventually it's burnt out. So to me, it would have just been smart this time to not show who you were. Just that, that's my personal opinion on the thing. Let me see if I can find Miss Tina. Y'all talking about Miss Tina's gumbo. I had so much. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to find now. It's been a lot of placement, but let me just say, I can't put the video up, but there is a lot of been dogging Miss Tina's gumbo. Miss Tina, part of that is because your family's oversaturated. People now just really are tired. They got Beyonce, Jay-Z fatigue. Jay-Z done showed up in these Epstein files and it ain't been good. No, it ain't been good because these executives that were talking to Epstein knew exactly what the fuck Jay-Z was. Said Jay-Z was the handler for Black people, which is what a lot of celebrity is, isn't it? It's the social engineering and the social engineering. It's a lot of social engineering for our community to keep our community stand down, and everything comes through a lot of these people because we're not really recognizing that they made a lot of people stars who just don't simply have no moral high ground. They just interested only in making themselves rich and their families rich. And it's not only that, it's leadership too. And unfortunately for us, because we're so bogged down with our everyday lives and things going on, we can't investigate to see what these people are doing. Like a lot of us just get so happy we live in a fantasy. We start saying, damn, look, Jay-Z them got that man, that's what I'm talking about. And you trying to live vicariously through they bum asses, but not understanding that they selling out the community to do so. I mean, this is what was said allegedly in the Epstein files. It didn't make Jay-Z look good at all. Them white men knew exactly what Jay-Z was good for. So Miss Tina, people are at a fatigue for you and your family. The power is still there, but it's not what it was. The power is waning. And probably you guys still have simply power from people because Jay-Z still has some white execs in his pocket. I mean, backing him up. And the white execs haven't realized how much power that y'all family have lost. They haven't realized this yet. They usually slow to realize. Or they realize it and they still hoping they can get a little bit more out of you before they slam the hammer down or before they start coming after you real hard. Because they're going to come after you. If y'all don't change things, they're going to probably come at you. And Beyonce might get, you know, in the midst of all this mess, got in the midst of all this mess. You know what I'm saying? So I would advise you now, if you're going to put out products and stuff, do not put your name to it. If it's certain products like food and stuff, because the gumbo was probably good. Y'all probably was just hating because it's Miss Tina. I don't know, but a lot of y'all saying it was soupy and talking about what the fuck, you know, real gumbo, people to my going off and stuff. I don't know, because I think people are at a fatigue. And I think Miss Tina, you got hatched up, but it's almost y'all selling too much. Y'all starting to look desperate. Y'all starting to look not like billionaires. Like there are certain, you know, there are so many people, billionaires, like we don't know that they own certain things. Billionaires hide behind other people. We don't even know they hands is in certain things. That's how y'all need to be. Sometimes you need to hide your card. Your celebrity don't need to be used to sell everything. Because sometimes people don't, even though I think the car's nose brand is problematic, I definitely do. But I also understand that people can be jealous too, and people just hate on you and not want to buy your stuff, not maybe a really good product because of who you are. So sometimes if you can't hide yourself, you know what I'm saying? Now, in cases like Maxwell's Cruise, that's not where you need to hide yourself, okay? Because no. Your name is on the cruise. You're selling the cruise because that's the distinction about it, okay? The distinction is that it's his cruise. The distinction of a cruise, a regular cruise, a Norwegian cruise from a Tom Joyner cruise is Tom Joyner's over the cruise. And it's going to have a Tom Joyner's branding all around it. That's when you got to show your face. That's when you got to show your celebrity. And remember, this is the reason what I said, what I didn't like about the Maxwell cruise. I said that, hey, part of that I didn't like because he didn't understand the branding. And some of y'all was giving him Summer Walker stuff about personality and stuff like that. Hey, if that's true, I don't know if that's true or not, what y'all trying to tell me, but that's still no excuse. Don't do it if you don't got the personality to be out here selling it. That's just my personal opinion. Don't do it. There's never, if you're not a type of celebrity, let me just say this for celebrities. Don't put your name to stuff that you're not willing to look like a servant at in this day and age. I'm just trying to tell you. It's like, don't look like, you can't just slap your name on stuff. I don't think you can do that anymore. I think we out of that age. You just can't. It's just gonna look bad after a minute. And if it's successful for a while, it only go for a while, and then eventually it'll burn out or they eat you up. You really, if you're gonna do some certain things like that, put yourself into. I really believe Miss Tina put herself into that gumbo, because I used to hear people talk about Miss Tina's gumbo, like people that Miss Tina would invite people. Rumors where Miss Tina would invite people over from the celebrity community to her house and cook gumbo and stuff for them. So I really believe Miss Tina really probably had a great product, but people hating right now on your family, and your family, rightfully so, have done some things that cause some people to hate. But I also think people are also going to be jealous, and they would have been just more powerful if she just would have hid that gumbo and called it Mrs. Juju Bear's combo or somebody like that. And then figured out, had her marketing people figure out more creative ways to sell it. And then once people start talking about how good it is and stuff, after a couple of years, reveal that you the person. So you gotta learn how to use wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That's all. All right. And what I was talking about is the Summer Walker thing is a little bit of the same thing that happened with the cruise, except for Maxwell does do meet and greets, and he's really good at meet and greets. But I feel like that when you're not the host on those things, I always say that's not good. I just always say that you should be more present. This is your job. I just think most celebrities have gotten so entitled. They just think people are supposed to show up at their stuff. I just feel like this is, and the Live Nation people, the Live Nation execs is proof positive. What those men were saying in those emails was saying that most audiences are suckers, and they've been able to upcharge people. These are celebrities' partners. They partner with Live Nation. So the Live Nation is really you guys. Now you got to do damage control, in my opinion, because you the face of your brand. You got to be out here like, damn, I win, damn, like, because some of your fans is paying $600 and $700 for tickets. I mean, you got to give them experience. You can't be just be sitting out here like, well, and y'all acting like Live Nation. Y'all acting like Live Nation's Live Nation, I won't say Live Nation. Live Nation's executives allegedly sounded in those emails. Your attitude is giving that energy of like, well, they the suckers. You want to pay $3,000 to come on this cruise. It don't give you shit. That's you. So I see why Live Nation is y'all partner now. Allegedly. Y'all got the same attitude as those executives. Allegedly. Live Nation said it ain't they. Now, to be fair, Live Nation said they didn't know. It was just some executives that work in their company. But Live Nation, I will say this is my opinion, that if them two, if they top executives were saying that to each other in emails, I guarantee you that's an energy throughout your company. And that's a CEO problem. And that's how you give off your energy to the people. And you can't afford to be like that when you look like a monopoly. You look like a monopoly. And is this good for the Carters? Because the Carters, what we do know is the Carters significantly have a partnership with Live Nation, don't they? At least Jay does. No, Beyonce too, doesn't she? There used to be some Live Nation people that managed her, didn't? It all falls down. Moving on. What is the next thing? We got some of the other things we need to talk about, y'all. Mm-hmm. Okay, I saw this the other day, and I thought this was very interesting. Well, before I go to this, I think I'm gonna talk about this first, this Jay-Z thing. Since we're at it, let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, this was very interesting. This is a young man talking about the whole Epstein files things going on with Jay-Z right now. And he's talking about what happened with the Brooklyn Nets. His name is Jean Paul Forte _Forte. Jean Paul _Forte. You guys can go and check him out. But it was very interesting what he had to say about they will use identity politics to rob you blind. I don't think that. I think some identity politics can be good. It just depends on you. The people who are behind identity politics have to understand what's going on politically. Unfortunately, we as Black people haven't made understanding the system in America, the systems in America. We understand them to a certain point, but understanding how they work, we haven't made it a priority for our people. We really have it. Unfortunately, in my opinion, we are still slaves in that area. We still carry the slave mentality of just let them tell us what we're supposed to do. Let them tell us what we still carry that mentality very much in this. And I feel like there's a number of factors for that. But let's take a listen to this young man, what he had to say about the whole Jay-Z thing.
So white billionaire real estate developers could buy up historically black and working class neighborhoods and then jack up the prices. And it was all admitted in the Epstein files. In February 2014, a Jess Staley, a high-level...
Wait, and before I listen to this, let me see this. He got that up there. They will use identity politics to rob you. Nobody does identity politics more than, to me, in my personal opinion, than white people. Because that's how they protect a lot of the interests of white supremacy. Not all white people, but there are a lot of white people who do. Okay, and some of them don't even believe half the stuff they be voting for and do, but it protects the interests of white supremacy. So don't believe that. I believe that you do have to have an identity politics for certain things, and you just have to understand politically what it's going for. The problem with Black people is we don't understand the political system we're in. We don't understand that Democrats and Republicans both got problems, and we've not learned how to use that and not take certain things personal and just everything, but go ahead. Let's listen.
Executive at Barclays Bank. And Barclays might sound a little familiar because it shares the name with the Barclays Center, the home of the Brooklyn Nets, emailed Jeffrey Epstein and he said, it's all about hip blacks in hip cars with white women. The people that should be in the streets have been bought off by Jay-Z. That's not a conspiracy. That's them actively talking about keeping working class communities docile by using faces that they're familiar with. So what is this billionaire banker referring to? Well, in 2004, billionaire real estate developer Bruce Ratner bought the New Jersey Nets, but not because he liked basketball. He bought them because he wanted to utilize eminent domain laws in New York City, specifically Brooklyn, so that he could not only get subsidized for his project to the tune of $800 million, but avoid $100 million in property tax per year. So Ratner is trying to buy up large portions of historically Black and working class neighborhoods in Brooklyn for a real estate development project he called Atlantic Yards. Now he promises if the city gave him this $1 billion in subsidies, then he would offer just over 2,000 units of affordable housing. Now remember, these guys are absolute sickos. So 2,000 units of affordable housing roughly means 1,700 units of housing offered to families that make at least $150,000 a year, which I will tell you was dramatically different than the current demographics of Brooklyn and the areas where the Barclays Center was when Ratner bought the Nets. Anyone that would have seen what was going on would have come to these same conclusions. So how did he avoid the problem? He got Jay-Z to be the face of the project. Jay-Z started making songs about asking LeBron to come to New York and fueling this message that Jay-Z was the hometown hero from the Marcy projects that rose all the way up so that he could buy the Nets and bring Brooklyn a basketball team. But instead, he was just the tool to sell the entire neighborhood off to white billionaires. They used Jay-Z's story to make him the face of the Brooklyn Nets so white billionaire real estate developers could buy up historically Black and working class neighborhoods and then jack up the prices. And it was all admitted in the Epstein files. In February 2014,
listen, one of the things that's very important to understand is, remember Jay-Z tried to go sell that casino. He tried to do the same thing, on Manhattan, but Manhattan is a different beast. Manhattan ain't Brooklyn in the hood days. You know what I'm saying? The politics of Manhattan are far different, but he thought he was that deep that he could go do it. Then people ran him up out of Manhattan because they understood politically what a casino in the middle of Times Square could be. And he was the face of that. That's why Diddy got upset. Remember when Diddy got upset with the liquor companies? Because Ciroc was an urban brand. Diddy said, hey, I want to go expand myself. Now I'm going to put all this stuff down in my community. I want to expand to the other communities. And they was like, You can't play it like the oppressor. It's hard. I know. It's because the oppressor is in some ways our symbol of how to be somewhat prosperous in America, but it's not a good symbol. So as Black people, we gotta address our mistakes. Jay-Z still ain't addressed that mistake. Jay-Z still ain't addressed the mistake that he went up in there under Colin Kaepernick's very powerful political stance and went up there and undermined it. And undermined Jermaine Dupri at the same time, too. I mean, he still is not. These. It's just, this is why, Miss Tina, you can't put your name on a gumbo right now. You know what I'm saying? Your son-in-law, people thinking he the devil right now. It's starting to look like there's still a lot of people that still for Jay-Z, but the armor is cracking. And here's the thing, and this is what I want us to all understand. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes people get into stuff and they like, man, I didn't understand it was going to do this. I'm sorry to the community or whatever. Because sometimes you just simply don't know. You're just trying to help, or you think you helping and you don't. This is not the case, in my opinion, with Jay-Z. Jay-Z started off talking about he was a drug dealer. He never let off of those things. You know what it takes to be a drug dealer in the communities? You got to not care about the community. There's a part of you that don't care. Remember Nino Brown in New Jack City? He would give turkeys out, but at the same time, he was spreading drugs around, fucking up the whole community. Them turkeys didn't mean shit when the community was fucked up and everybody's walking around like drug heads. Jay-Z kind of had that mentality. So how could you trust it? We got to start looking at characters of people and what they stand for, even our own community. You have to question everybody. And sometimes in questioning our community, we might save our young men and women who are in the entertainment industry for doing something foolish. But we got to have the morals and high ground first. So, anyway. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about this young lady getting this ring situation here. I saw this comedian talk about this on the show and on his thing, and I'm gonna let y'all hear some of this. He said, "This is from comedian Shuler King." I won't play the whole thing, but I'll let you kind of give you guys the gist of it. Let you hear him talk about a little bit of it.
I don't know who right or who wrong in this situation, but apparently, there's a couple right there, they're in a relationship. This is the text thread. Looks like my man went and got him a $898 ring from Walmart. The girl said, I showed you what kind of ring I wanted. I told you more than once, and you still went and got a ring from Walmart. So he proposed to her, and she said no.
Okay, so a lot of people were talking about this, okay? Can I just say this? I'm not saying say no because of the because this is from Walmart. That's not what I'm saying, because I don't, rings can be from anywhere. The most important thing I think people need to understand about wedding rings are symbolism. The ring is a symbol of who that person is. That you understand and you know that person. That's my personal opinion. That you understand and know what type of person you're marrying. You know that is the girl that says she don't want no Walmart. She's already telling you what she is essentially. And I don't know why she said she didn't want it from Walmart. Maybe there's a specific ring. We can't just judge and say it's because of money. Maybe there was a specific ring that was for the same price that she wanted that had a different look and Walmart didn't provide it. Sometimes it's not about money, but it's about who she is as an individual. It's about saying to your future spouse to be, your future wife to be, that I understand you. I know who you are. That's why a lot of men sometimes they go to the women's family, or they go to her friends and say, "Hey, can you help me pick out a ring? Can I don't, so I want to get something that says her." And if she's a girl that's high value, you know what you're dealing with. That ain't no surprise to his ass, okay? I agree with saying no. If the ring, for men and women, to really be honest, but women, rings are more of a symbolism thing to women, to men. To women. It is a symbol of saying I value you and what you're getting ready to be in my life. I'm investing in you. I'm not saying do something off the rails that you can't afford and all that stuff, but I'm investing in you as much as I can. And that $898 ain't nothing to sneeze at, please. But it's also saying I know you. I want to give you something that you can value. To me, it is a red flag when you get the wrong thing. I know plenty of women, women who have gotten married and they ignored that red flag. They learned to love the ring and all this stuff. But I remember one of my friends was telling me about the ring. She said, I never liked the ring. She said, girl, I had to do this and do that. But what she told me, she said it did show some issues though. She said that she said she loved her spouse. She's crazy about, but she said it did show a little bit of things about him that he could be flippant about who I am. Sometimes he doesn't understand certain things about me that I thought he did before we got married. It did show me a little bit that he really didn't know me as well as I thought he knew me. And she said, I ignored that. And she said, and in the marriage, I started to see little things where they were able eventually to heal that. But she said it did present something, him not knowing what that ring to get and her trying to ignore it and being the girl, like, I don't want to seem like I'm being ungrateful and everything. She said she knew immediately that's what that meant. She knew, because she was like, this is nothing I would buy. I would not buy this. You know what I'm saying? This is not me. It's beautiful. And it was expensive. And she was like, it's beautiful, but it's not really me. And she said, I eventually did some stuff to make it, me, but she said she ignored the greater conversation, which was, why did you get this? And what made you think it was more me? And what was your reasoning? Like, she said, and later on she found out he was just trying to rush out to do something. He wasn't really thinking of the cost of what was about to happen. And they struggled a lot of years because of that. She said, but that ring was telling her something. I believe that. I believe that tells the ring is a greater symbol. Okay. And men, for you, okay, if you usually know you got a highfalutin chick. If you already know if you can afford her or not. Now, don't be going to Walmart getting no Walmart ring for a chick who is a glamour girl. You know she a glamour girl and everything, unless she told you, hey, I'm willing to, you don't have to spend a lot. I'm willing to work with you. I know you're going to do something. But if you know, you can't fake her out. Okay, they're going to go, them the type of girls will go get their ring tested and all kind of shit. Glamour girls are costly. Remember, I had one guy friend years ago. He told me, shit, I didn't realize. I was like, well, you married? Yeah. You think it costs a lot for women to be women. And you can try to dumb down a glamour girl as much as you want to. It ain't going to, eventually they're going to come out, baby. Okay. If you can't afford that chick, eventually it's going to show. Okay. It's a price for chicks, certain women. Certain women is a price for. You gotta understand what your situation is. Even though I think you should work hard for all women and giving them a beautiful life and lifestyle and stuff like that. But great women who, I think most women who are worth their salt deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand what you're marrying too, who you are, who the person is. Now, if you know you done been, okay, let me just say this. I just say you got to know who you're dealing with. Certain women gonna be like, no, just certain women gonna straight up tell you no. Like if they a platinum girl and they gonna and it's gonna say a lot to them. A lot of women are saying, "This you're not gonna give me the lifestyle I want with this Walmart ring." And there's women in it for lifestyle, and you know that a lot of Muslims men know who that is. Okay, you're not gonna give it to me, man. I'm gonna be struggling. I can already see. And I don't mean that. That could be wrong too. It could be because people's lives can blow up in a number of ways. But to me, rings are symbols, okay, about who you're willing to be, what you're going to be. Even if you're getting something, you say, hey, babe, this is not, I know this is not who you are. This is not, it's just a symbol of my love right now until I'm able to do what for you, what I want to do, something like that. But other than that, if you can't find the words and stuff to say that, or for the things, then you just going to pop up and give somebody something, and you know it ain't them, and you know it ain't nowhere in their personality and stuff like that. I say watch it. Okay. And that's a discussion. I think that is definitely a discussion for most people to have. Okay. Definitely. All right. Put y'all back on to most people to have. Okay. Definitely. All right. Okay, y'all. Most people. Sorry if y'all hearing the double sound here. Okay, now I want to show you this. I saw this too on the internet about this young lady talking about beauty being pain. So let me let y'all hear what she says.
Be honest with you, it's the number one thing I work. And I'm really fucking fine. But let me be completely honest with you. It's the number one thing I work on, and I'm still not where I want to be. So I'm going to
okay, let me tell you, this is Via Gregory. This is from her post. I found her very interesting the other day. So take a listen to what she has to say. And she's on TikTok.
Tell you everything I do to stay fine. And you're probably going to be really mad at me. We're going to start off strong. I go to the gym like 5 times a week. That's just the start. I weekly go to this clinic and get lipo B12 shots that has like B12, B6, a bunch of vitamins, in Sonitol, all these fucking vitamins I can't fucking name. I take Meta Boost pills, which like boost your metabolism and make you not as hungry. I take like 15 vitamins a day. I don't eat until like 1 p.m. some days. And I don't consider the Celsius energy drink and the Cliff bar that I have pre-workout as like a meal. So I don't necessarily intermittent fast, but I don't have a full fucking meal till like 1, 2, or 3. I consider myself as someone who has an eating disorder because every time I eat, I am afraid I'm going to gain weight. Like that shit is ingrained in my brain. Like I am not naturally meant to be skinny. I have a half sister and she's thick, like not big, but like thick. And we're both tall because our dad was 6'5". And I am not meant to even be this thin. I try really fucking hard to be this thin. And every day I wish I could be okay with being my natural, like thicker self, but I refuse. So anytime you see somebody who's like really in shape or got a really good body or whatever you fucking consider me or anyone else to be, just understand I am at constant mental warfare. I am at constant mental warfare with myself and my body. And I don't think it's going anywhere. I'm in therapy and I don't go to therapy and talk about my body. I just suck it up and deal with it and do what I can to stay thin. Because I understand the way I get treated in life, half is because of how my body looks. Yeah, and it's bomb-ass personality and this cute-ass face, but I've also had a ton of work done on my face. And I would honestly 100% rather be a natural, thick girly who's okay with themselves, like Vanilla Mace, than me. But sure, I'll eat up the benefits that come with looking like this, but it gets sad.
Okay, very powerful. Let me just say this, okay? Is beauty pain? Yeah, man. I mean, I always look at the story of Esther. It depends on where you're trying to go. Woo! I'm about to make some people mad out here right now. Okay. The story of Esther. Oh my God. I mean, I'm not saying Esther was doing wrong with this woman was doing. She's talking about B12 shots, all this stuff. I don't know. Some stuff is unnecessary, but if you ever read the story of Esther when she was getting prepared to be to go in to meet the king, to be chosen, trying to be chosen by the king, because she was trying to become queen because she had a greater purpose. Esther was no longer a young lady in the field. If you read that Bible story, she was no longer a woman in the field, but suddenly she was coming up to royalty. And her whole outlook on her whole life had to change. This was a girl who went from being an orphan, who was raised by her cousin, Mordecai, who didn't have a lot of money and everything, but saw an opportunity to put her in a position of power to help her people. And what she had to do, I don't say do this for nothing, just for the sake of being cute, for being cute sake. That's what a lot of people are doing it for the sake of fame, or for fame's sake, and fake of being cute for cute sake. No, I think you got to have a greater purpose behind something. And Esther went through a strenuous beauty regimen before she even met the king for like 6 months, soaking in mirror every day and putting on certain looks and facials and this and that and doing this and doing that and being this and being that, because she had to do this strenuous beauty regimen because of where she was going. So yes, sometimes to be beautiful, like when you're looking at somebody like a Tiana Taylor and she's super skinny. I wouldn't want to be Tiana's size. I love Tiana's pretty, but like when Ashanti was before the baby, or like Ashanti, she's getting that back though, and she needs, she got to take her time. She just had baby. Or I like Amber Rose thick. I like being. I want to get small. I'm getting smaller. But I love being a thick smile. My whole life, I've had big hips. Even when I was small, when I was 18. I've always had big hips, big thighs, and, nice teeth. You know what I'm saying? I never have not been, even when I was small, I was thick, slim thick. So I'm like this girl. Beyonce's in that lane too, where you can eat one little thing and it can take you over. You know what I'm saying? So I even though I'm going out of starting to be coming from being plus size, I'm starting to go out of it now and stuff like that. Not yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there, right? I'm getting so where people don't look at me anymore like I'm not always looked at as big. I still got the big hips and stuff though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm coming out. I'm starting to come out. It's been a process to lose this weight, and it wasn't. I'm over 50. So where some people don't need no help, I needed help. I was a diabetic. I had just come from having breast cancer a couple of years ago. The last thing I want to do is battle some fucking diabetes. And my doctor put me on Majoro. Majoro has been such a life changer for me. But I'm also having to learn how to work out again, eat, and everything like that. Like I'm having to start a whole nother workout regime starting next week. I'm starting doing this whole nother thing. We're trying to retrain my body and everything. It is not easy. It's not easy to put your health first. But here's what I'm realizing. I'm starting to realize, I'm not saying doing it for this girl's sake. This girl's shit, she's just doing it for vanity's sake. I wouldn't do that. But what I'm saying is, yeah, and we want to do it for some vanity because we like the results we get when we look good, right? I love my pictures, like what I get, the results I get. It's different. But we also want to do things because we have a deeper purpose. We have a reason for living. Like you ain't got to do all what she got to do, but understand that sometimes being the best version of yourself is going to cost you something. I just use her as an example. I'm not saying all what she doing is good. It seems like she do need a little bit of therapy. Yeah, we all do, but she uses that, like, but when it just depends on what is your desire, where are you trying to go? What will that cost you? Listen, breast cancer taught me something, that I am immortal as far as spirit, but not as far as body. There's this old song that they used to sing in church. There's a leak in this old building and my soul has got to move. Y'all remember that? They sing that there's a leak in this old building. My soul has got to move. It's just an old song they used to sing. And they would be talking about that their bodies is breaking down every day. Something is happening. that every day there's a leak in this old building, and my soul one day gonna have to move. But I want to keep it in my soul and my building together as long as I can. I used to love that song too when they sing it. They get up there and sing that. Them old women. Boy, they used to sing that. There's a leak in this old building, and my soul has got to move. I used to love that word. My soul has got to, because it was a picture of your mortal, who you are, mortal. This body, it's made from the dirt. What makes it powerful is this thing God put inside me, this spirit. But I understand every day because of if you spiritual and you believe in the word of God, and that the Bible says every day we're getting closer to death. Like every day our bodies are changing and stuff like that. And it's how we take care of this house. I'm starting to realize that. I'm like, I hadn't did a good job. I was in stress and so many things, life stuff. And I'm still trying to shake myself out of that. But what I loved about hearing this young lady, even though it's coming from a disordered place, I understand what I wanted to say to y'all. What I wanted to use this for today is because to be your best self, it's going to cost. Sometimes beauty is pain, or not even beauty, just being the best version of yourself. I remember I heard Monique say the other day, she said, babies, it's not fair. I was listening to Monique talking about being overweight. She said, it's not fair for you to put that burden on your family when you know you can change it. It's a difference when something happened and a family got to come together and help out, because things happen in life. There could be things that happen and everybody got to come together and help in situations. People get sick out the blue and all this stuff. But when I've seen so many people who have known. I remember I was talking to somebody and they told me they knew for 20 years they had this problem. And they was now facing something that the health problem had overtook them. And it's so, when you let 20 years of something you knew you should have did 20 years ago, it's hard to fight. I can't say, I'm using this girl for example, but I can't tell y'all, no, I'm going into something else. Like, I'm trying my own life. You got to change your mindset, your lifestyle. I listened to this baby because what I saw there is a young lady, even though she's giving a reel about something, to be pretty and to be what I'm doing is costly because I don't want to get my body to get a certain way, even though it's coming from a place of vanity. But she's showing you that it is a price to take care of your temple. And it's not just in all the things you do, but it's in how you live your life, how you live your purpose, because all that stuff adds up inside. You know what I'm saying? Everything is guiding you to your life. You know what I'm saying? Like every day, how we live. Like, look, it's just certain little things. Like everything, like sometimes I see myself being so busy during the day and I'll just go grab something I know I shouldn't have grabbed. But I'm letting all these things that really don't matter dictate how I'm supposed to be living or dictate how I take care of my body. And then what I realize is a lot of these things, that's what this week I've been having this thing, and I've been talking to a friend about this. I've been having this thing where I'm alignment. I'm like, yeah, I'm out of alignment in a lot of ways because the reason I know I'm out of alignment is when things start dictating, I'm letting circumstances dictate my life instead of God's purpose for me dictate my life. And a lot of times those circumstances can feel so comfortable and so this and that. And so sometimes we have to make ourselves uncomfortable. So why I use this young lady today is because some of you may be going through some stuff right now. And you like, man, I sure would like to be that get my body down. I sure would like to do this. I sure would like, and you right now at a place where you tip it. And a lot of times you just, you just like, I don't want to do all that. You got to do something. Beauty costs. If you going into show business and you want to be your best, you know how much, if you're a singer right now, if you want to be a singer, you know what singers got to go through to go on tour. I mean, do you know what that does to the body every night? To be every other night to be you meeting two, maybe say for instance, you got to meet and greet, okay, and you got to meet 200 people a night. You know what I'm saying? Every other night. Then you got to get out there. You use your energy to do that. But then you have to get out there to perform. You know what they have, the price they got to pay to keep themselves up. Some of them don't pay the price. Some of them start drinking and drugging and everything like that because they don't want to do the work. But for some of them who really do pay the price, who go to the gym, who be doing their business, who try to do all kind of stuff, try to do their best, it costs, baby. They'll tell you that cost me something. There's some of them been using Ozempic for years and working out. Five days a week. Because they got some purpose they're attaching it to. Hey, this is my career. This is what it's going to cost me. Everything has a price. I love my favorite quote. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is first there's the two of them. Unless the Lord builds the house, you labor in vain. Yeah, all your work is for nothing. But it's also where Jesus said, count the cost before you build a house. What is it going to cost you to do this? And is God in agreement with me? Because if that's so, I can do anything. I can do an Esther thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying to y'all today. I hope I'm using this in the right way. I hope y'all understanding what I'm saying. I hope I use this young lady in the right way. She's very beautiful. Via Gregory. Y'all can go listen to her whole thing. But I thought that was dope what she had to say a little bit in terms of giving you an idea of what it takes for a lot of those girls to be beautiful out there. Beauty has a price too. Okay. Really does. I always look at Halle Berry. I'd be like, she's so pretty. I'm like, what does she have to do, man, to be Holly? You know what I'm saying? Now, there's some women who are naturally, listen, there's some women out on the street right now that you can walk up to that don't do all that, and it's very beautiful. And let alone if they started doing half of that stuff. Oh my God, what they could do. They probably stun the world. There are women who just have natural beauty. Halle Berry to me is one of those women. She's a natural beauty. Halle Berry really don't got to do much. She's really a natural beauty. Beyonce is to me too. Sade, Gabrielle Union to me is a natural beauty. Who is that girl? I'm trying to think of her name. Oh my goodness, I forget her name. That's a dark girl. She's very beautiful. It's so many natural beauty, beautiful. I forget her name. But there's so many women that are just naturally beautiful. They don't need all that. But when they do all that, the results are like, woo. What's that model from Africa? Anak. Oh my God. The skin is crazy. She don't got to do all that. But when she have done all of it, what's the result? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that there's some girls out here walking these streets that are naturally pretty. What if you put all that into your life? Ain't no telling where you go, girl. Okay? That's all I say there. And not just because men liking you and stuff like that, just where you go in your life, in your lifestyle. Okay? What's the next show? What's the next one? Because we got to wrap this up, y'all. I'm about to go. Ciao. I'll talk to y'all long enough. I may have to do a part 2. Okay. Okay, we're gonna end it with this one, okay? EJ Johnson talks about he's attracted to straight men. He isn't attracted to gay men. He's attracted to straight men. Well, they wouldn't be straight if they were attracted to you, EJ. But listen, you know what? I don't got time to get into this one. I'm gonna save this one for the next show. I'm gonna say there's a lot of other stuff I need to talk to y'all about. I'm gonna save it for the next show, okay? I'm gonna save a couple of them for the next show, okay? We'll do that, all right? And we'll add that in. Hopefully, I'll remember EJ and talk about that. But my personal thing is, would we be straight if you know? I don't know. It's starting to be really crazy out here. Okay, and then we talked about Matthew Knowles. I didn't get to talk about Matthew Knowles interviewing Tina. Some of y'all was asking me. I mean, not interviewing, that interview he had where he walked out the interview and now he's wanting to sue. Matthew, please don't be suing nobody. You got to be kidding. That's a young interview here. He asked you a fair question and you acted out in that interview to me. Matthew got up. He and the guy asked, was anything wrong? And he was like, no, you know. But Matthew, you didn't have to walk out. The truth is, what I think, this is my personal opinion. If you know anything about the Destiny Child come up, the rumors was that Matthew quit his job for them to be. He had a big time job as an executive allegedly at IBM, and allegedly that him and Tina had a breakup when he did that. So even though Miss Tina has a lot to do, and she's Beyonce's mother, and she's the nurturing and rearing of it. As a man, he may feel some sort of type of way when you say certain things because he probably feels like, hey, I almost lost my whole family because I put it all up on the line for the girls. And I don't feel like nobody did it like me, even though I just because they end up getting back together. So I know it was a joint venture. And it probably cost him because I think Miss Tina was the money at that time, you know. So yeah, so there's a lot there. And then Matthew later on, you know, we know the story, okay? Fame got to his ass, okay? And which is unfortunate to me because Matthew to me was a better manager for Beyonce to me in terms of how Beyonce would have moved in her career, I think. But I digress, you know, hey, yeah, Live Nation did its thing, okay? They created a good, nice little bubble over here. All right, so hey, but that's all we're gonna end it on that. That's how I feel about that. I don't know. It's so many dynamics to people. All I say is today you did it together because y'all did it as a married couple. Y'all showed up together. Somebody was making the clothes. Somebody was doing this. Somebody was doing that. So Miss Tina was nurturing. Matthew was the hard ass. I mean, it is what it is. Okay, that's what it seemed like. Okay. So yeah, I don't think that one person didn't do what they need to do, even if one person didn't get the vision right away. Okay. All right, you guys. So on that note, I am going to end the show. Remember, if you want to hit me up, you can hit me up on the Carlotta Chatwood Facebook page. You can message me that way. You can also hit me up on Instagram at Carly's with the S_Galaxy. And there's a link down there for my Threads account. And for Twitter, it's Carlotta72 and C Chatwood Show are both my Twitter accounts. And also TikTok is Keisha Carlotta, okay? You guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday, rest up, enjoy the upcoming week. Can you believe how fast we're going through March, baby? Fast, okay? And you know what? It's just moving the time. It's already like feeling summertime where I'm at in Texas. Oh my goodness. And when I was in Kansas City the other week, it was nice. And it was raining it rained one day, but Kansas City was nice in Kansas City. It's a nice day in Kansas City. No, it didn't rain. It had just got to raining. It was nice. So the weather is changing, even though somebody told me it was going to get cold. I think my papa was telling me it was going to get cold again in Kansas City. But boy, it's not Texas, baby. Okay. All right, you guys. So I am out. I hope you guys enjoy it. I ain't even got y'all. I got my little thank y'all up for you. Thank you guys for hanging out. And I hope we'll talk again soon. Okay. I'm out. Have a good one. Leave y'all with something. I'm out. Bye-bye.